Welcome back, guys. Episode 2 of the infamous show. We are here with the one and only, often imitated but never duplicated, the man himself. Y'all know him as Infamous Alex, but I know him as Motor Killer. What's up, bro?
Always with the jokes. I appreciate you guys having me here. Sorry I missed out on the first episode, but barely making it. Trying to get in the second episode. You could tell my voice is not 100%. Kind of the cold got me a little bit this week. So, but I'm here. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, man, we're really happy to have you, and we definitely missed you last week. And yeah, man, let's jump into it. So, I mean, what really got you into bikes, man?
Pretty much. So, I think I've been riding for quite a bit.
Yeah, let me rephrase that. How old were you when you started riding?
I want to say like 8 years ago. So back in like 2014, I believe.
Okay.
Is whenever I started kind of getting into the bike scene, stuff like that.
And was that a street bike, a dirt bike, or?
No, so I never done dirt. So at the time I never done dirt. I did dirt after me riding the street for a while, but it was a street bike. And pretty much got into the whole bike scene just because I was coming off the car scene a little bit. Did a lot of car meets, stuff like that. Had a little G35, little Infinity. That kind of started seeing more street bikes out there. In the meets and stuff like that. And my buddy, actually, I was going to school, had a street bike, so kind of gave me that push, of seeing it every day. And
what kind of bike did he have?
He had a Gixxer 600.
Ooh.
So yeah, he had one of the the orange scheme 600.
Orange and black.
Orange and black. Yeah. So it looks super clean, And at the time, I didn't know anything about bikes. Now, it's probably still a clean looking bike, but I hate to say, Gixxer's probably not my
tripping
number one choice. Suzuki,
Suzuki Nation, stand up.
Yeah,
bro. Don't listen to that.
So yeah, he had one of those, and then it kind of pushed me to just kind of seeing him and being on the bike kind of pushed me to really get one of my own. And then at the time, I had a friend that was riding motorcycles. He's an OG guy. I believe he still rides. I kind of lost touch with him for a while because he would come out every once in a while. But at the time, he was coming out to the car meets, and I don't know if I should say it or not, but he's kind of got me to open up my eyes and say, you know what, this is kind of what you need. Just because he kind of gave me a taste of what the bike could do, I guess you can say.
How did he do that? He let you ride his bike? Or what?
No, I didn't. Yeah, I got to ride the bike, not me per se. So I hate to say I was a passenger, let's just say that, so.
Oh, wow.
He did that nut to butt.
That boy said I rode nut to butt off into the sunset, bro.
No, to the moonlight. So it was actually after a car meet, and
that was your first time ever on a motorcycle?
Oh, street bike, yeah. Okay. On a street bike, yeah, for sure. My dad, he used to have an old motorcycle, I think like a Shadow or something.
Like a hog.
Hog, yeah, type of thing. And that was when I was little, like maybe not even 8 years old, little. And then that was my last time before, the 8 years ago, when I rode with him. And he was just we were just nonchalant. We were just eating after the car meet, just dinner or something. It was like 8, 10 p.m., something like that. So it was right nighttime. And we were just talking back and forth. And he was talking about his, pretty much like an experience being on the bike and yada, yada, because it was like a group of 8 or 10 of us. And then we were just talking. I was like, man, that's pretty cool. I was like, man, if you want, I'll give you a ride. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. So he kind of I was like, you know what? And then like I said, at the time,
he talked you into it.
He talked me into it because my buddy was on the bike. So I was like, you know what? This is kind of going to tell me if I want it or not. At least kind of give me I guess make it easier for me to make a decision on it. So I got on the bike and we were on I think a restaurant down on 59 South. And when we got on the bike, we got on 59 going north. Pretty much going towards downtown.
Okay.
On West Park, there's like a big old dip. I don't know if it's still there or not, but I got really scared because I know that dip, so I know pretty much the roads of the city. Houston.
So were you wearing a helmet when he took you for a ride?
Yeah. So he pretty much gave me his helmet. So I had
what
a
was he
helmet.
wearing?
He was just out there YOLOing, just thugging it out, So he gave me his helmet. It wasn't planned or anything, so it just kind of happened.
Hang on. What time of day was this?
No, this was after a meet, so it was 10 p.m. or something, for sure like 9 to 10 p.m. Probably even later.
So you're riding with a guy, and you didn't know this guy, or you knew him? He was your friend.
Yeah, he was my friend. I think I at the time probably knew. I mean, it was like a long time friend. I think at the time I probably knew him like I don't know 3 months or something.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
So you're
yeah.
riding with a guy 3 months.
But-
you jump on the back of a bike. It's pitch dark.
Not
and
too
you-
bad.
Not to butt.
It's
Not
pitch
to
dark,
say.
Yeah, it's nighttime.
And you're probably wearing a helmet that's either too big or too small for you.
No, actually, it wasn't. It wasn't that bad. I mean, compared to, and I'm gonna tell you the story when I got my own bike. But it was actually not too big. It fit good, decent. I think if I'm a small, it was a medium. Type
Oh,
of thing,
got it.
you know?
Okay.
So it was nothing crazy. And so yeah, I got on the bike and he started going fast and stuff like that. But then
How fast?
I don't know, probably over for sure a buck 20 or something like that. You know, and he started going. So I felt good. It felt decent. But my, I guess, worry was I knew that dip was coming up, and on the car I feel it like it almost bottoms out if you go fast enough. And he wasn't slowing down. So that's kind of where my mind, I'm like, what did I just do? Like, this is just, Jesus take the wheel, R.I.P. This is gonna be our stop, because I knew he was coming up. So in my mind, I thought he was gonna start slowing down. No, he kept us, going up on the speed and stuff like that. And as soon as we went over it, didn't feel anything on the bike. The bike just absorbed it and kept on going. And that's kind of what got me to where this is speed. This is like adrenaline. Like, this is what I want to do. Because it's just kind of confirmed, like you're not going to get this experience on the car. This. And then just, I hate to say it, but if you haven't been a passenger, it's a whole different feel than being the one riding the bike. Because you have a little bit more time being back up there, kind of seeing everything. You're seeing the road, you're seeing the signs, you're not worried too much of what's going on in front of you, to where you can kind of see around you.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, most of us aren't gay, so we don't ride with other men.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so,
yeah.
So I was young, young and dumb. That happened, and we went back, and to be honest, he's actually like I said, OG friend. He knows how to ride. He does a lot of the back roads and stuff like that. And whenever I started looking for a bike, he was the one I told, because his bike, the bike that he took me on, was a CBR 600
Okay.
RR. So it was still a street bike, and that's kind of the bike I was looking for. Because at the time, I didn't know too much about Gixxers and Yamahas and R6 and stuff like that. So he told me about it, like, man, like, maintenance is good. They're very reliable bikes. And to this day, I mean, Honda is still
Probably the most reliable.
most reliable, exactly. So it kind of came down to that, to where I was looking more for that bike, and I finally found one. And it was an '06 CBR 600, the same thing. And he helped me get it. He went, took a look at it, yada, yada.
So let me ask you this. From the time you rode with Homeboy to the time you bought a bike, how much time lapse there?
Probably within 3 months, or at the most 5 months, within 5 months.
So you knew instantly, pretty
I knew
much.
instantly. Yeah, I wanted that bike. And like I mentioned, like, just seeing my buddy come in. So I had a buddy at college come in on his Gixxer, with his helmet, parking his bike. That kind of gave me that everyday, like, seeing it motivation too, to kind of get one. And yeah, I finally found one. He went, took a look at it. I got the money, and I think that week I bought it. After, I think I might have seen it Wednesday, probably bought it Friday. And when I bought it, the guy pretty much took it to my house. Gave him the money, and luckily we negotiated having the helmet. His helmet, his jacket, his gloves with the bike. On the price. So.
And this is a 2006 CBR 600.
Yeah, it's 2006 ABR 600. So, he gave me all his stuff, gave him the money, and pretty much left the bike there. But the problem...
So you bought this bike, never hadn't ridden a bike yourself. You had never drove a bike.
Not like a street bike. I've ridden a bike, but maybe like 20 feet, but that was like when I was younger. And it was like a smaller bike. So yeah, not to where like I'm shifting gears or, going on the street, going on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So that week before getting it was interesting, or that month before getting it, because that's when I was really pumped and amped to where I was going to get one.
Oh, yeah.
So that was my YouTube thing, to where how to ride a motorcycle, how to turn it on, how to, shift, how to clutch, how to do everything, right? And it was interesting. I saw a bunch of videos, and obviously it just kind of kept on going to the same thing over and over. So I knew what I had to do I just had to go out there and do it.
So did you know how to drive a manual car?
Yeah, so my car was a manual.
So that helps a little
yeah.
bit.
So and every time I get new people asking me, man, I want to ride a motorcycle. My questions are, can you drive standard? Do you know how to drive standard?
Sure.
And obviously, do you know how to ride a bicycle?
Yeah.
Because you have to get used to that, you know. And the standard thing, it's something to where you might not. I've had actually guys come up to me. They don't know how to drive standard. They learned standard on a bike, you know, to where I feel like a guy could do it. A girl might be a little bit harder because it's still a whole concept of clutching of everything else that you have to learn. So luckily I had that, you know, and obviously I could ride a bicycle and stuff like that. So it kind of came. I knew I was ready for it. But yeah, he kind of, you know, kind of set me up. And at the time, you know, I was telling people, I was like, you know, I'm about to get a bike, family, friends, stuff like that. Friends, they were kind of telling me the same thing at the time. I was like,
Which
man,
was?
pretty much like, man, like you gonna kill yourself, you know, you gonna die, you know, they're dangerous, stuff like that. So I kind of, they never asked what kind of bike. Oh, that's cool. What are you gonna, you know?
They weren't excited.
They weren't excited, you know. So it kind of went down to that, to where I just went out and did it. You know, I didn't have bike friends except for, you know, my two friends at the time. So yeah, I kind of got it. The guy, like I said, gave me his stuff and finally got my own bike in the garage. And this is me by myself.
This is still 2014 we're talking about?
2014-ish, yeah. So I'm literally by myself, you know, just 50 YouTube videos loaded in my brain, you know, just kind of going back and forth. And it's nighttime. This is like 7 p.m., you know, nighttime. So the sun's already down.
So how did you get the bike home when you bought it?
So the guy actually told me to meet him at HEB because he wanted to count the bills and make sure they were legit. You know, I guess I was young. And
how much did you pay for the bike?
I think it was like $4,200 or something,
Okay.
or $4,000. So yeah, I went there, and then I was by myself. So I told him, hey, can you take the bike to my house? You know, and he had, I think, his wife or something with him, or I can't remember who it was. And he just rode it to my house, and I kept the money. I gave him the money at my house. He gave me the title and everything else, and the jacket. And so he just dropped it off there. So I'm in the garage. He left. I'm in the garage. I'm like, at the time when people were telling me, hey, you're going to kill yourself, yada, yada, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take my time. I'm not going to be doing anything foolish and stuff like that. And it's going to probably be 2 weeks until I get on the freeway. And I'm over here, you know, just going be going safe on the street for the meantime. That kind of went out the window, you know. So I'm in the garage and I'm pretty much looking at the bike. Like I said, I got all 50 videos loaded in my brain, trying to, you know, go step by step. So I got the key, turn it on, you know, boom, you know, the ignition switch, yada yada. Turn on the bike, rev it, and obviously I got all the gear on. But all the gear, the guy was a fluffy guy. So it's extra large jacket, you know, AFX helmet, no show, no AGV, nothing like that. So it wasn't, you know, top shelf quality gear. So
yeah.
I put it on, you know, just because I didn't have anything else. And, you know, the helmet, like I said, is super size, so I could move it.
So what size helmet do you wear?
That's a small.
Okay.
Actually, that's a small on AGV.
And what size was the helmet he gave you?
Extra large. Yeah. Yeah. So it's not even close to my size. So yeah, I could literally twist it to where I couldn't see the visor anymore. So I could twist it almost all the way sideways.
Oh wow.
And it was just a helmet that, you know, I got to where I needed something, you know. And I feel like a lot of people been there. You know, no one starts from the top. Everybody starts from the bottom.
Facts.
So. I got on the bike and I'm like, you know what? Let me go around the neighborhood. Let me see, go through the gears.
And this is all still the first night?
First night, 15 minutes into him dropping off the bike. Get on the bike, go down the driveway, go to a stop sign. I'm going on the back, you know, around my neighborhood, towards the back of the streets. And there's a stop sign right before going to my house. And it's like a T. So you have a stop. I got to stop, but the other cars keep going straight.
Okay.
You know, they don't have no stop. I was about to go, and a car was coming. It was still had a little bit of time. I was like, you know what? I don't want to get rushed. I was already moving, But I changed my mind. Like, let the car pass, and I'm gonna take my time, and I'm gonna take off. Because I'm still learning.
Sure.
And when I did that, since I was already moving, the streets are always kind of pointed towards the curves, or pitched towards the curves. I guess like the bike kind of got away from me to where I stopped all of a sudden.
Oh no.
And I'm over here almost about to drop the bike 15 minutes into this. I luckily catch it. It's going to the right. I luckily put my foot down and I catch it. And I'm like struggling to bring it back up. And luckily I do. But it scared me. It scared me. I literally went back to my house, put it back in my garage, and just kind of contemplated life a little bit, just to kind of see if this is for me or not. And I kind of just said to myself, you're not little B, just kind of go out there, be on the street. It's probably because you're out here trying to maneuver the bike. Because at the end of the day, I don't know if a lot of guys or a lot of you guys, if you ride a motorcycle on a daily or that's what you've been riding for a long time, and you jump on a bicycle, the bicycle is going to feel like a little toothpick.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to feel like, oh, what is this? Because you're used to a big motor, and wide stance. So it's kind of where if you're used to a bicycle, you're not used to this weight every time you're kind of stopping.
Right.
So that's like a little kind of getting used to for newer riders. And that's kind of what I went through too. And obviously the clutch hand, that's another thing. You're going to get that forearm workout in, the first 2 weeks. So yeah, like I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and be going on the actual streets, get on the actual feeder. Because I live close to the freeway. Get on the feeder and make a U-turn and come back, right? So that way I could go a little faster, could feel the bike a little better. And that's what I did. So 30 minutes after him, like 15 minutes, and then 30 minutes after he dropped it off, I'm out there on the feeder, just going down the feeder on the bike that, I'm 30 minutes into the bike.
Wow. How'd that make you feel?
It made me feel good enough to call my buddy that went to school with me and to tell
the
him,
Jixer guy,
and to tell him, hey, I got a bike. So I was just so excited. I got back from doing that. I was so excited. The bike felt good. I felt good. I felt those 50 YouTube videos helped out a lot. And
shout out to YouTube.
For real. So yeah, it felt good. And when I called him, I was like, man, I got the bike. He's like, oh, that's awesome. Let me check it out. Where do you want to meet at? I was like, well, I don't know. It's like Marquee. I'm 20 minutes away from the Marquee. I got to get on freeway to get to Marquee. So it's like, I was like, bet, I'll see you there. So yeah, I hang up and straight up, like I get back on the bike third time. So I'm still within an hour of him dropping off the bike. And I'm flying down I-10, like almost topping out the bike on I-10 in front of the Memorial City.
So you're talking $140, $150.
Yeah, just up there on that bike.
Wow.
Like in the first hour, I probably topped out that bike. Like I was just flying. Yeah. So it just, I'm not saying it came natural, but it's just, I felt very comfortable being on a bike like that.
Okay,
so,
you got there, you met up with homeboy. Well, I mean, what transpired after that?
He enjoyed the bike. I mean, he had a Gixxer himself, so we were both on 600. So it was a good time. He he finally had someone he could ride with. Huge shout out to him because he kind of every time he's kind of like you guys. Like when I talk to JDZ or even remember we're very passionate about the sport. So he's very passionate. He went from dirt to sport bike. So he was a dirt bike rider. And kind of like Brett, like last episode, he would just tell me like, oh man, I'm ripping the 450, just boom, going from, over tabletops and yada yada, from pole to pole and yada. So he's very, very kind of like passionate about the sport. So whenever he got his Gixxer, like, oh yeah, man. So I remember him doing a wheelie. And I don't know if you guys know this, but on 45, kind of by where it goes flat between, what is it? Like by pretty much in between the downtown.
Okay.
Where if you're going 45 north, where it splits off 45, south and north, like 288 area.
Okay.
And then you have like kind of like that flat by like going towards the aquarium.
Yes.
But you're going north. So that little flat part is it has like a lot of little bumps. I remember this man right here, after riding, did a wheelie on that. And in my mind was the craziest thing in the world. Because I just remember it being so bumpy. Yeah. And I'm like, man, that is crazy. This man's doing this on one wheel, just so that kind of stuck with me now. It's just, a normal thing. I feel like that's nothing. That's probably how he felt at the time,
Right.
Little nothing. So yeah, he was a bad man too, on the bike. So yeah, lost him a few years ago. He had his own stuff going on, and but yeah, I mean, he was one main guy that kind of got me into the whole bike scene for sure.
Was it a biking accident?
No, it was something
No.
else. Yeah,
Okay.
he was into something else, and
Yeah.
it was so fortunate, but we had good times. Like I said, a lot of my first year or so was riding with him and my buddy that was on the 600. He's OG. Crab River, that's where I kind of refined my riding skills. I was out there quite a bit.
And this
quite a
is
bit.
still within the same year of you owning that bike.
Yeah, so within the 1 year to 2 years, I was balls to the wall. I felt like
So how many times a week were you say you were riding?
let's say in the first year, I put like 30,000 miles on that bike for sure in the first year.
People don't put that on their car.
Oh, no, seriously. No, yeah. Yeah, 30,000 miles. 30,000 miles
so
because
you were riding almost every night.
Every night. Every night. I wouldn't get home till 2 in the morning.
Whoa. And then what? You would get up and go to work? I mean,
Pretty much. I mean, I was young, man. You could do that when you're young.
Yeah, you ain't lying. You
So
ain't lying.
I would be going out like at 9 to 10 a.m. 9 to 10 p.m. meeting up, and traffic's still kind of tight. We do a little route, and then by 12.
hang on. What's a route?
A route is pretty much like a circuit around the city. I guess you could explain, kind of like doing a loop, and doing a whole circle around the city. I mean, depends. Honestly, Houston has some decent roads to do that. You have a lot of options that you can play with.
And this is all freeway riding?
All freeway riding. So you got 610, you got I-10, you got 45 North. So at the time, probably some guys still don't know, but we used to call it a short route. A short route would be like 610 to 45, 45 to I-10, I-10 back to 610, back to PP1. You probably touched base on it last time. PP1, it kind of is an OG spot for a lot of the city that people know. That it's changed over the years, but it's still there. People still meet up on that spot. So I think at the time I was doing that like for sure 3 to 5 times a night or a week.
To all the Houston OG riders, back when I was meeting up with guys back in the day, we used to meet up at James Cody Island. That was our PP1. That was the original,
I came right after that.
Yeah.
I think I came like a few years after that because that was down Westheimer.
Correct.
And then it moved down up Westheimer to 610.
Yeah, by West Park.
Yeah. So, I missed that. But, and see, that's the thing. Like, I feel like it's kind of diminished over the years because back in 8 years ago, you'll see a sea of bikes out there. Now you'll get that every once in a while, which is, it is what it is. It's kind of, I feel like it's kind of been divided over time. So people meet up different spots, but back then it's just that was the spot to be.
That was the whole bike scene, right there.
Exactly. So, but yeah, no, I was doing that, and honestly, from there, I kind of, like I said, for that little 600, I mean, I dogged the hell out of it.
Okay, so you said you were riding probably 30,000 miles the first year. So who was doing all your maintenance on your bike and stuff?
Oh.
Were you taking it to a dealership? Or?
No, and that's the thing. So I like same way I learned, how to ride a bike, I was learning on how to work on the bike, and that 600, I mean, luckily it's a Honda. It's very reliable. I had my buddy had like a Yamaha at the time, and had to replace like a water pump or something else. That bike, I remember, I learned so much. I didn't know a chain. So one time I remember, like, it was a little experience I had. I was just cruising, and and all of a sudden my RPMs were like, we'll do that stuff, right? And I'm like, what is going on? Yeah, Playboy, you need a new chain.
Yeah.
So it was the chain, and I thought it was the motor. I thought it was the throttle. I didn't know what was going on. It was the chain was so loose. So I did all the maintenance on that bike. I did all the
Just learning from YouTube, or
just learning from YouTube, and then myself. No one told me, oh yeah, it's your chain. I'm over here diagnosing. Like, okay, what can this be? And I'm like, I'm hearing rattle, and I'm doing this, and I'm just kind of like learning myself, and no one's really like, oh no, is this, is that. Like, I never had no one to kind of hold my hand, especially like, I think we have a picture or something, doing the tire changes. Like, there was
so you were doing your own tire changes?
oh
as
yeah,
well.
yeah. I mean, obviously not the tire itself, but taking out the wheel Yeah, that's
whoa, hang on. What the hell is going on here?
yeah, that was my setup.
4 car stands right there.
Bro,
Yeah.
is that car jacks on the forks
Oh,
of the
yeah.
bike holding it up?
Oh yeah, so I had to get innovative. Obviously, yeah, I had YouTube and stuff like that at the time, but there was no forums, there was no nothing. Like I didn't know
You
where.
know they make bike stands, bro.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I didn't know where to get them. I didn't know where to get them at the time. So I didn't know cycle gear. I didn't know none of that, right? So I'm over here just thugging it out because, like I said, I came from the car world. So I had jack stands. I had like little stuff like that. Obviously, I had little tools. I've come a long way from this picture, but I had to get innovative with getting the jack stands. I started on the rear. You can see like those jack stands to be. I had to pick up the bike from the rear tire, slide those jack stands underneath the swing arm on each side so they could balance out.
This boy.
And that was the easy part. That was the easy part. The hard part was figuring out how to get the front end up because I tried to actually do it with an actual jack, with a floor jack, and obviously like you have the wheels in front, so it couldn't clear the front tire. So I had to get innovative, and I found those. I had to get from 2 different cars. You can see they're 2 different colors. Those little what's it called, triangle jacks or whatever it was called. And yeah, you have to I had to do one side at a time. And I just remember I was like, I cannot breathe around this bike because one little gust of wind and it's over. Like
That is crazy.
that's gonna that's the first 3 months because that's how I got the bikes. Yeah, I don't rock the little spikes. That's more of a JDC like style right there for sure. So you could tell that's me barely having the bike. I changed up those spikes. I went with black bolts and stuff like that. A clean look. So you could tell that's been the first 3 months of me having that bike. But yeah, I had to get innovative and I was able to get it.
So how many times did you do it like this before you?
Oh, that was
learn?
First and last.
One and done.
Yeah, from first and last. Because
Thank God.
Yeah. Yeah. I never went back to that because it was very, very sketchy.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I had to learn the hard way. I mean, and if you guys kind of see you've been kind of keeping up with the channel, you'll see my garage. And now I went from that to actual bike lift.
Yeah, big shout out to Infamous Lifestyle on YouTube. If y'all haven't checked it out, please go check it out.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, bike lift, pit bull stands. That's kind of all I have now. So, oh yeah, I've come a long way. I mean, even the bikes. But yeah, no, I had to learn on that bike, and to be honest, I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did because
you paid your dues.
Exactly. Yeah. So now I've just kind of, I mean, obviously I can't do motor work, but I can almost do everything else, type of thing. So, everybody starts from the bottom, and it's just, how dedicated you are and how much you want to learn, kind of drives you.
So how long did you keep that bike for? Your first bike? You bought it, you said in 14, at least a year, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think I kept that one for sure. I want to say like 2 years probably. And then I moved up. After a while. I think I sold.
What happened to that bike? Did you sell it?
I sold it.
Okay.
But before selling it, actually, I rode the track with that bike.
Okay, which track did you go to?
Because I was into the whole. So I've never wheelied a 600. I never got into that, and I was more into the turning thing. Like I mentioned, I went to Crab River. Crab River is like those back roads here in the city. So there's a lot of turning and yada yada. So I was more into the turning and routes and kind of leaning the bike over. So believe it or not, it wasn't Coda. It wasn't MSRH. I went all the way to Fort Worth to Eagles Grand Canyon, I believe, which is a awesome track. It's very technical, believe it or not. It's very technical. I think they've redone it.
On that 600.
On that 600. But I remember there's some long straights that go to a crest, and there's 2 turns that one is like as soon as you crest over, the turn's right there. The other one,
I love elevation.
Oh, yeah. The other one, you're cresting over, and you still got I think 400, 300 feet before turning. You still see the brake markers. So, yeah, I mean... It was an exciting track. I went with Ride Smart. I actually did a whole weekend out there, and I rode the first day, which was good. But I was
how many days did you go for?
So Saturday and Sunday.
2 days.
2 days, yeah.
Okay.
So whenever I rode out there, it was fun. It's just I wasn't. What I tell people now, I wish someone would have told me, is tires and suspension.
Yeah.
That's kind of the most important thing. Suspension, you could get it done there because I got it done there at the time. They have this guy that does it for you. You pay $40, the best $40 ever. But yeah, he adjusted to your weight. But tires, 100% tires. I went on some Angel GTs. out there.
Bro.
So no
You were
one.
going sport touring? Or
Yeah,
what,
yeah,
bro?
yeah. I was doing like the you know, from here to California type of thing.
Trying to make him last row on the
Yeah,
track.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, no, I went on some major GTs and I was doing good. You know, I was out there, you know, with my rented out suit, patched up. You know, shout out to Ride Smart. You know, they kind of give you that suit and that option if you know, so you don't have to buy one just to be out there on the track. And it's a whole learning curve. You know, you kind of be out there and I mean. You probably see on the other picture at the time. I was still wasn't like how I am now, where I actually ride the full, you know, full gear. I was out there squidding, you know, and to be honest, it's a little getting used to being on a full suit and stuff like that. So being on the bike, being on Angel GTs, I feel like I did decent. I actually moved up to level 2 my first day.
The first day.
The first day. So I was
That's
out there with
awesome.
the instructor. So that was amazing. I mean, I feel like I think my lap times were decent, and they saw like I was really getting on the bike. You know, like getting on the track and using up the track. Body positioning was good. Everything like that. But once I moved to level 2, it's a different tier.
Oh, it's a different story.
Yeah,
You
there's-
can't pass on level 1.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
exactly.
very basic.
Yeah, you could pass level 1, but I think like after midday or something like that, because I was going around like a whole bunch of people, right? But you get different people. You know, people been riding 10 years, people been riding 1 year.
Yeah.
Fourth track day, first track day, 12th track day. So you got a whole range. But level 2, no, now you start getting serious. You know, from not just from the bikes, but from the riders. You know, like you're more experienced for sure. And yeah, I wasn't passing that easy. I was probably passing maybe 2 people, you know, 4 people at the most.
The whole session.
The whole session, you know. And I was trying to keep pace with this one guy, and he was really good. And I just asked too much of that rear tire. So I actually ended up going down on, I want to say, second to last session of the day. And I told myself, like, you know what, and that's what I tell people. Don't push yourself to finish the day.
Yeah.
If you're at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock feeling tired, call it a day. Because this is fatiguing. Like, you know, this is a lot of, you know, your energy is getting drained. If you're not getting hydrated, if you're not eating, you know, you're out there just sweating. And yeah, I mean, and that's kind of what happened to me. I was pushing too much on the tire that I shouldn't have, and I low-sided. It was, I think, a lap or 2 before even coming in. So yeah, I mean, it happened.
How bad was it? Were you injured or did you
No,
have to go
no,
to the hospital?
honestly, just ego. But yeah, that's kind of
That one
it.
hurts a lot. Too.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, the bike was fine. You know, it's a Honda. Like, luckily, the case wasn't cracked, broken, anything like that. Levers weren't broken. Rear set were good. So
How fast were you going when you low sided?
probably like, I don't know, 60 miles an hour, 40 miles at the most, you know, or at the least. I think for sure probably 60. It was one of the bigger apexes.
You probably learned a lot from that low side.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, and like I said, I'm for sure the tire. It was just, I don't even think it was like a 180 55. I think probably like a 180 50. You know, it's no sidewall or no actual.
We'll say 50.
Yeah. You know, so and this is all within me having the bike maybe within the first year for sure, probably 6 months. You know, of having the bike. So I'm out there, got level 2, ran the second day Sunday level 2. Obviously more conserved. You know, I was more kind of trying to hit the apexes, trying to go in my breaking points, you know, my exits, stuff like that. Just focus more on me riding than ego riding, you know, being out there and just trying to show out and keep up. So, but yeah, it's a whole different tier, level 2. You get more track, you know, you got, how you say, slicks, more track fairings, you know, and the classes
Tire
are different. Yeah,
warmers.
tire warmers and stuff like that. The classes I had no tire warmers. The bikes, like, I brought it back to the pits.
It wasn't a hell, bro. You're on Angel GTs.
Yeah, I would have cooked them to where they were soft. Yeah, no, yeah, it's a whole different experience, and it's and the thing is, it's not like MSRH. If you guys kind of know MSRH is not. It's a good track to where you can learn. It's not technical, so that's what makes it a good track. But it's not a good track physically. But that Eagles, I think it's EGR. It's a very technical track. It's almost like Coda. If you see the whole track, you'll see pieces because of elevation differences.
That's
It's
awesome.
you know, it's not like
Yeah,
MSRH.
that's
MSRH,
fun.
you could see the whole track pretty much. You know, it's all flat, and so that's kind of where it makes it fun. And I tell a lot of people, if you're first time riding at the track, do it at MSRH. You know, get your kind of feel for it at MSRH. That way, you're not worried too much on a technical track. But yeah, that was my experience. You know, I kind of learned the hard way that way.
It's kind of like getting your, basic courses done at a community college and then going to university.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. Because now, I mean, we've ridden Coda. You know, I've gone to
Yes.
Coda and stuff like that, and now we're spoiled. I could say
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
spoiled.
for
You know,
sure.
if I were to go to MSRH,
For sure.
if I were to go to anywhere else, all I'm seeing is cracks. I'm focused on, you know,
Yeah.
patched up work. You know, no runoff. You know, that's kind of where I'm already spoiled at Coda. Coda, obviously, MotoGP,
Oh,
Formula
dude.
One, everybody
Yes.
races there. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a world class track. You know.
Yeah, I've said it before. I'll say it again. If you live in Texas, even if you don't live in Texas, Coda is definitely a bucket list thing. If you happen to do it, we're spoiled. We're an hour and a half away, so we can go pretty much anytime we.
So when we going?
like, whenever you're ready, big dog.
Yeah, we're waiting, bro. Waiting.
Yeah. So let's go back. Your first track day within 6 months of owning the bike.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was your feeling coming out of that track day? Yes, you did go down. Was
Yeah.
it kind of bittersweet? I mean, how did you feel?
Yeah, for sure. Because now I had to fix the bike even more, obviously, you know. So but I mean, at the same time, anytime I go to the track or anytime even you going out to like the back roads, you know, you're out there on the bike for a full day and you're more in tune with the bike. You know, you feel more one with the bike. You know, you kind of feel the limits, what you can do, what it can do. So yeah, I mean, I feel like it made me a way better rider just being out there. You know, and even though I went down, yeah. When people go down, I feel like your biggest thing is, at least for me, making sure like, man, was the bike doing this before? You know, like kind of like that little kind of thing behind your
Yeah,
head
second
of
guessing.
second guessing, like, okay,
Yeah.
like was it, you know, the little vibration, like stuff like that. But other than that, I mean, it kind of you start building trust back on the bike. But yeah, I mean, it didn't kind of I guess push me away from the sport. You know, it's part of it. You know, a lot of times I always tell people, you know, it's not if you're gonna go down, it's when you're gonna go down. You know,
Sure.
and all
And
of
the
us say
best
that.
place to go down is obviously a controlled environment like the track.
Exactly. So it's not to where, you know, it's a shame to say that you went down, you know. And at the same time,
Oh, dude. No.
even if you're fully set up, you know,
It's a shame to go down and not learn anything from it.
exactly.
That's
Exactly. I'm just kind of glad that I was able to ride it, you know, the next day, because then it would have sucked. Because then I'm kind of
Oh, that was the first day.
That was first
you,
day.
Oh, so you had a whole another track day.
Track day. That was Saturday.
You were able
afternoon.
to fix up the bike
Yeah,
and everything was
zip
good.
tied it and everything. Yeah.
Clip-ons were good.
Yeah, clip-ons were good. That's what I'm saying. It was still good to where I rode it the next day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because if not, then I would have been kind of stuck there.
So at the end of the second day, what was your feeling like? Hey, I'm going to come back. I loved it. You know, I didn't like it. This is not for me. Like, I'm not going to do track. I'm going to do street. What were your thoughts?
No, for sure. I mean, I liked it. I wanted to come back, but at the time, like I said, I didn't have a bike that was set up for it. So I knew tires, stuff like that. I had to get it done. I want to say probably did do another track day, but it was like a long time after that. But I never went back to that track, which I've been wanting to go, to be honest with you. I think it was a good track. It was a good technical track.
Okay.
But
so, no, go ahead.
No, but yeah, for sure. Like it didn't deter me from coming back or anything like that. You know,
You
was a good
enjoyed
time.
it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. So, okay, 6 months in, you know, we get the bike. You put a lot of street miles on it, a ton. And then you said 2015, 2016, you sold it.
Sold it, yeah.
So what was next after that?
So I kind of stuck to my Honda gang, you know. So shout out to the CBR boys.
Shout out to Honda.
Yeah. So that was my 2012 CBR 1000.
2012.
Yeah. So I got a 20, and the reason I got the 2012, I wanted a 2012. I don't know why I was so adamant about it, but
And this is 2016?
it was 2016. Yeah. So the 2012.
How many miles did you have on that bike?
Oh, I actually got that bike with 1,100 miles.
Oh,
So-
like damn near brand new.
Oh yeah. So the guy that rode, I don't think he rode that much. So 1,100 miles. So I still put a whole bunch of miles on that bike. I think.
Do you still own that bike?
No, sold that
Okay.
bike too. I think that bike, whenever I got it, I was looking for a 20th. So that's a 20th edition. I don't know why,
Oh,
but
got the halo.
yeah, I did the whole halo. So
I
it stuck with
see
the
ya,
red.
boy.
Yeah, the red and black. I powder coated the rear sets. You can see it's blacked out.
Yeah.
The rear hugger, everything else. So I took a lot of pride on that bike. So that was my second bike. I feel like I did all of my learning on my first bike, and obviously my first 1000. So I was.
What was the first difference you
I mean,
felt?
obviously power.
Yeah.
And I say power just because you're, jumping from a 600 to 1,000. But then, CBRs aren't known for that. But at the time, I obviously didn't know that.
Right.
So yeah, obviously power, and then handling. Honestly, the CBRs handled great. You could see that, yeah, the picture, that was literally the bike I learned
So
how
how
to wheelie.
long? Yeah, how long was this from when you owned the bike till when you start wheeling?
Probably within a year, for sure. I would say 6 months at the most, you know.
And how much were you riding on this? But you were still going out every night,
Oh
or
yeah,
once
so
a week?
no,
or?
yeah. So that bike for sure in the first year, same thing. I did the same thing. I think I put 30. No, it was like 29 to 30,000 miles. So minus 1,000 again. Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
you're basically saying you put about 60,000 miles of street riding in about 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, 2-3 years. Yeah, yeah.
That
Easy.
is
Easy.
insane.
And that's what.
And you weren't dailying this thing, right? Like you weren't taking it to work?
No. That like literally like whenever I would that same thing. I would go out and route stuff like that. Yeah, I would daily it sometimes, but not. I mean, obviously it's Houston, so you can't daily every day because all of a sudden it's sunny one day or 1 minute and it's raining the next. So yeah.
So how many times a week would you ride it to work?
3 times probably.
Not
depending,
bad.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
depending on the weather.
yeah, but I mean, probably not even 100 miles, maybe 80 miles, 60 miles. So it's not too much, you know.
And how far was your job from your house?
Yeah, probably like a round trip, like 60 miles.
Okay.
Yeah. So it wasn't too bad,
Yeah,
you know.
30 miles each way.
30 miles each way, yeah. So yeah, that was the Infinity, and then that's the Honda right there. So yeah, I think if anything, I'm glad I got that bike just because it kind of felt like my 600, you know, with just a little bit more power. And the looks of it, that's kind of what sold me.
Yeah,
and
very aggressive.
That's why I wanted the 2012, just because they had just changed the fairings.
Yeah.
And I'm just like a stickler for like the details. That front fairing, the way it kind of goes over the headlight, I mean, that's just super
it's a sexy
aggressive.
bike for sure.
Yeah, super aggressive. So that's kind of what got me into it. But overall, I mean, obviously, I started hanging out with more people, more friends. They'll have 1,000 cc stuff like that, and then I started obviously seeing like, you know, it's a clean looking bike, but it's definitely not the fastest.
Yeah,
you know,
for
so,
sure. So you've changed bikes. How did it go as far as the gear was concerned? You know, from that transition from a 600 to 1,000.
So yeah, so I started kind of getting more, you know, kind of how I was upgrading the bike, stuff like that, kind of getting better and better. My gear was doing the same thing, you know. That picture with the wheelie, you could see me. I was on a Shoei RF 1200, you know. So at the same time, you know, it's a great helmet. I like Shoei. Yeah,
Shout out to Shoei.
Yeah, you can see it. But I still got the jeans, you know. I still got the Vans probably or something like that. Just kind of squinting out. That jacket, that's still the I think it's called what's called the Air Super Air racing jacket or something like that.
Shout out to Dionysus.
Yeah. So that's a jacket I still wear to this day.
That's awesome.
That to this day, not that same exact one.
Yeah, sure, the model.
Yeah, because Full Res over here made fun of me. I had it for 4 years and it was super faded. And you know, we've been doing videos stuff like that. The boy just kind of clown on me that, you know, it looks more gray than it does black.
It does though.
So, but it's a great jacket, and I tell everybody like I'm not the type of person that you could copy what I wear. You know, if you like my AGV, get my AGV. I don't care if we have the same helmet. Get my jacket. You know, like to me, it makes no difference. You know, I'd rather you be rocking my stuff because I know my stuff. I'm wearing it for a reason, because it's comfortable or because it's light or whatever reason, and you might like it too. You know, so I've probably sold, you know, a lot of people on that jacket as well, and this probably like the third, fourth one I bought. I had a brand new one that he made me kind of pull out just because of it. But at the time, that was the jacket to get.
Yeah.
And until this day, they still sell it for the same price. You know, it's just a clean looking jacket. It does well. But I went from a Shoei, so I kept the jacket, but I went from a Shoei to an AGV. So I jumped to AGV just because of the designs, really, and just the aggressiveness. You know, we have an AGV on the table, and a lot of people ask me about the AGV or ask the channel about the AGV, and it's just a Corsa R, you know, it's just a custom Corsa R. But I started with those two. Started with the turtle helmet. You can see on the screen. That's a Rossi, a 2014, I believe, Tartaruga, and I think that's a 2015 Magello with a shark helmet. So I started
And
with.
if I'm not mistaken, those are Corsas, right?
So those are Corsas, yeah. Those are both Corsas. That's before the Corsa R. So I started with those, and to be honest, I think the turtle one a buddy of mine had, or someone that I knew had. I don't think it was like a buddy, and I saw it, And that's a very like all Rossi's designs are very limited edition. So they're like 3,500 in the world or 4,000 in the world, yada yada. So I think the turtle one is like probably 3,500 in the world. I can't remember, but yeah, I got that one. I got the shark one, and ever since then, I just kind of started seeing the Rossi designs and the AGV just being so aggressive, and I just kind of started getting more and more into them to where now I have a kind of full, nice little collection of helmets. But yeah, I just jumped to the AGV, bandwagon, and I can't go back. I have an X14. I have an X14 at home, a great helmet that I've never worn. Yeah.
So, what's your favorite helmet of all time?
That's hard to decide, to be honest, because I have probably close to 20 AGV helmets
Wow.
as of now. And I want to say probably the Aniversario. The Aniversario is the 70th edition golden helmet that AGV came out, and that was my first Pista helmet.
So, what's the difference between a Corsa and a Pista?
So a lot of people ask me that, and unfortunately, I think they're going away with the Corsa. But at the time, I would tell people, get the Corsa. This is a Corsa.
Okay.
And I would tell them, get a Corsa R, because I feel like the cheek pads are a little bit better as well. You have more of the ear kind of cutouts that don't bother you as much. But the Corsa, you're more of a like a carbon composite with a plastic composite or something like that.
Okay.
So it's like a mixture of two different materials. The Pista is a full carbon helmet.
Oh, it's the top of the line.
Top of the line, yeah. This is a track-oriented helmet. And you can still wear it for the street. I mean, you buy the helmet, and they give you little earplugs for the helmet just because it's so loud. So
okay.
So it's a straight up like track helmet, and the reason I kind of tell people more for the Corsa is just because riding it, I think it's a little quieter, and then just the vents. This you could open and close the vents like a normal helmet.
Right.
The Pistas, you have the little inserts that you got to pull out and push back in.
It can either be open or
open
closed.
and closed. That's it. Yeah, but you have to be keeping up. Let's say you take them out, you got to literally pull them out. Yeah, you got to pull them out, and then you got to put them back in. So a lot of times, to me, like for the street, this is more than enough, But then you got to go.
Is that the helmet you were talking about?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that's clean.
Yeah, so that's a limited, like very, very limited helmet. And a lot of people always ask me, when did I get it? Can they get one? And I think the AGV was established in 1947.
Oh, crap.
So I think that's why it's called the 70th edition. So I think there was 1,947 of them in the world. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so there's less than 2,000 of them in the world. So I got one of them, and I still have it to this day. It's an awesome helmet, and it still fits me. I mean, I still rock it. But yeah, that was my first piece. And from there, I just been Rossi. He just, shout out to him. That boy kills it on his design. So Marquez, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I have the X14, which is his helmet.
Right.
The Pull and Bear, the concept, the black and red one, which it's, from what I've heard, is an amazing helmet. I've never worn it on the street. I probably should.
Yes.
And I think that's probably a good kind of maybe blog or something, because you're going from a guy that's been riding AGV for the last 5-6 years or something to, going to a show. So it's going to be a good little, I guess, comparison.
Yeah, shout out to Shoei. I love their X15s. They're on point, man. They're for the street. It's for my head shape. I definitely rock with Shoei.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
okay, let's go back to the CBR 1000. You had it for about how long? You said 2 years?
I believe so. Yeah, 2 years for the CBR. And that's the CBR, like I mentioned. Like, I learned how to wheelie on that thing. So I started on the 1000. And a lot of times people always ask me, like, what do you learn on and stuff like that? And because they have 1000s too, and they're kind of scared. And I was like, man, to be honest, I probably took me 2 weeks to get consistent on the wheelies. And within those 2 years, I kind of got it down to where I was doing staggers, and I was getting up
nice.
there.
Stand-up, staggers?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not stand-up, staggers. I don't know why. I've never felt comfortable in stand-up.
So explain what the difference is from a stand-up wheelie to a staggered wheelie.
Yeah, a staggered wheelie, I'm pretty much having my right foot still on the right rear set, so you kind of still be on the rear brake.
Okay.
But then you're putting your left foot on the passenger peg. So you're kind of doing a little staggered motion with your feet. That's why you consider it a staggered. And it makes it more comfortable for you to kind of bring up the bike and go into a kind of like a stand-up wheelie.
Right.
An actual stand-up is you're both feet on your own rear set, and you're still doing like you're standing up on the wheelie and bringing the bike up and stuff like that. So to me, it's a little bit more difficult. I mean, I feel like a lot of guys, I talk to them, and there's kind of preference. They said, the stand-ups are easier for them, for whatever reason. And so, yeah, I mean, I kind of learned staggers because it was just easier for me,
Yeah.
at the time. But, yeah, I was going from sit-downs to staggers, and that's kind of where I learned that bringing up the wheel up in the air and
Just getting
wheelies.
comfortable.
Yeah, getting comfortable, yeah. And it took me 2 weeks to really kind of get it down. Not like how I am now, I'm still learning. I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I feel like I'm decent enough. But, yeah, nowhere near where I'm at right now. But within 3 months is whenever I started getting more comfortable, longer wheelies, higher wheelies, stuff like that. So, yeah, it still took some time. But, yeah, this is me going out every day.
Yeah.
And still doing routes, but on the straightaway, slow down, practice this. Oh, turn coming up, hit the turn, slow down, straightaway, practice the wheelie. It was a lot of that type of riding.
Okay, so then what happened after you sold the CBR? What did you go to?
So I went from Honda to Ducati.
Oh,
that
wow.
was my jump. So, yeah, I went from the CBR 1000 to an 1199R Ducati.
Ooh.
Yeah, that one right there, yeah. So
That's a beautiful bike.
oh no, it's to this day I miss it, and I'm pretty sure you do too. Like you were fortunate enough to kind of ride it as well. So it was an amazing bike. It's a huge difference from the CBR power wise, obviously, because like I mentioned, CBRs aren't known for the power.
So what year is this roughly?
This is the bike is a 2014, but this is like around 2017, I believe, 2018 almost, that I got that bike. So it's still...
so within 4 years, you went from a CBR 600
yeah.
to pretty much one of the
Top
topper
dogs,
echelon.
Yeah. This is the R. So this is, you got the
It's
electronic
just a little bit
suspension.
below the Superleggera.
Right, exactly. At the time, exactly. This is right below the 1199 Superleggera, pretty much. You got the wheels and everything else, acropovic exhaust. So it was, to this day, it was a bike that kind of improved my riding skills, I could say, because it's not a bike that, I'm gonna get on a Ducati, and I tell that to a lot of people that buy a Ducati or are trying to get a Ducati.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, that's an L twin, so the heat wasn't a really factor like nowadays with the V4s.
Yeah.
But it's a bike to where it's very torquey, it's very light on the front end. So if you just want to hop on and be comfortable, and this bike is gonna put you to work, for what you're trying to make it do. So doing routes, doing wheelies, stuff like that, it was a bike that I really kind of pushed my skill and improved my skill just being on that bike. So, but once you get it, I mean, it's almost, it feels raw. It feels like, you're, I don't know, it makes it fun. I kind of feel like, yeah, you got that little twinkle in your eye too, just kind of talking about it because you rode it, that's Jay Diesel with the 1299. He had the Anniversario. That's a limited edition bike too.
That's actually my first Ducati I ever owned right there too.
Oh yeah, so twin 1199. Yeah, double trouble right there. Yeah, no, I think the bikes. I mean, just I don't know. It's something about Ducatis. To this day, I still would want to have something like that if it wasn't for like the heating factor.
Yeah. So let's go back to you were saying on the CBR. You were saying you love that bike, but they're not necessarily the fastest.
Right. So
how would that Ducati come into factor there as far as top end or mid or torque?
Oh, like let's say if I was lining up with myself, CBR versus Ducati. I mean, it would just from the hit just obliterated. It wouldn't much. I would start gapping from first to second. And
that big of a difference.
That big of a difference.
So,
I mean,
what would it be similar to the difference between your 600 to the 1000?
Almost, to be honest, almost.
Yeah.
And just because it's a Ducati, you have that torquiness. So it's not like, I'm getting up on the mid on the high RPMs,
right,
and I'm getting that top end. No, you're getting everything from the low end immediately. So it was a good jump,
Yeah.
and it was a difficult jump, just to kind of get comfortable on that bike. Like I mentioned, the streets out here, they're not paved to where they're smooth, no bump. No, they're bumpy. So a lot of these routes, a lot of stuff that we're out there doing, there's a lot of bumps on these turns. So if you don't know what you're doing, or if you don't know these roads, a lot of times you can't just be on the throttle and coming on the bump because you have to load the front end. You got to come off, put some weight on the front end to be able to
Yeah.
absorb it and
That's
go
a
through.
great point.
You know, to where
Yeah.
that's where I had to really learn, obviously the roads, but learn the bike as well. You know, because yeah, if you do that, I mean, the front end is gonna shake on you like no tomorrow. You know, so that was like a big learning curve. The Honda, I mean, obviously it was more planted. If it was more comfortable, but that the Ducati, you're off the bike, yeah, you feel that front end just kind of dancing, you know. So it was like I mentioned, it just raised my riding skill. You know, it just kind of it pushed me to kind of be more, how you say it, improve myself on the bike, you know. So I think it was a good. I mean, I enjoy it. To this day, if we find another 1199 or I mean, I would like to get one back.
So you said this was about 2018.
2018.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened to that bike first of all?
Pretty much sold the bike.
Okay.
The 1199. Yeah, we sold the bike and went for a S1K after that. So, I mean, it was a good jump as well. You know, the S1000s. You know, you seen the channel. We BMW strong over here.
BMW gang gang.
So yeah, I jumped on that S1000, and at the time, so I did all that painting. You know, the colors change. That's still a BMW color, but it's like an M2 color. I can't remember, I think it's like aquatic blue or something like that. I can't
That's like
remember
a
what it's
car
called.
color.
Yeah, exactly. So I got it like I guess it would be like what the M package was back in the day. You know, so with that tricolor,
Yeah.
white and blue and stuff like that. But I changed it to that. It's running the HP wheels, but they're like I guess you what you call it, salmon wheels. But I wanted to do a little contrast with it. I think it came out pretty clean. But yeah, that was kind of my jump after the duck. You know,
With your favorite helmet on. That's
well, that yeah, exactly. That's an Navasari right there with the golden helmet. So,
So
yeah.
what were your biggest takeaways? You know, coming off that L twin, you know, 1199R to, I believe that's a 2015.
Yeah,
right?
2015 S1K. So I think this bike. So I feel like, and that's why I miss, like compared to that bike, I miss the Ducati. I feel like the rawness, I do miss it, but this is more linear, more smoother. Their handling, I can't say, oh yeah, I went from a bike that I gotta be careful. This bike is still, the handling is there, but it's still not like something that like let's say a triple R's nowadays, or even the Leggera. You know, when we rode it, it's so planted. This bike, I guess what you would call a flex frame. When you're on throttle, when you're on the turn, a hard lean, it just, if you don't have good tires to kind of cushion that, you're kind of all over the place. Like the bike will dance on you a little bit. So it's just kind of still getting a little bit used to that bike, you know. So it's, to me, that bike, the S1K is more of a rideable bike, you know, to compare to the Duck. You know, you don't have to put that much work, that much kind of emphasis on what you're doing,
Right.
Compared to the S1K. So the S1K is a lot smoother. But yeah, I started riding that one, and to be honest, a lot of people, they kind of, at the time, they were scared of jumping to BMW just because it's German and they didn't know about the maintenance and super expensive. But to me, BMW is like a Honda. You take care of it, it'll take care of you. You know.
Oh, BMW is very reliable.
Yeah, so you know, and that's at the time, you know, that was like what, 2018 or something like that, 19. A lot of people were still kind of against the wall, you know, on this occasion because of that, because they thought it was so expensive. Like, yeah, but at the same time, if you take care of it, you don't have to, you know, kind of worry too much about that, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm kind of glad. Like I said, I miss it, but I'm kind of glad I jumped into the S1K at the time. So.
And let me take it back just a little bit. When you had the 1199, roughly, we knew how much you were riding with the 600. We knew how much you were riding with the CBR. How much were you riding with the 1199?
So that was like probably what, 5 years after me starting or something, 6 years almost. I slowed down quite a bit. I started riding every night and stuff like that. So I think that bike probably had like maybe 16,000 miles, something like that, like after I sold it.
And how many miles did it have when you got it?
Probably like 6,000, 7,000.
Okay.
So like 10,000 miles I probably put on or something like that.
Within a year?
Within a year. Yeah. So I think it was, like I said, it was a good bike, but like I mentioned, the wheelies, I did not like the wheelies. So that's kind of what got me.
What was wrong with the wheelies on that bike?
Since it's the L twin, whenever I'll do a wheelie, especially a long wheelie, the way that the motor was set up, it had a lot of back pressure. So
Okay.
the back pressure, it would go to the airbox with all that oil and stuff like that. And then I remember I would go to gas stations, I would pull up, kind of stop the bike and yada yada. And all of a sudden, yeah, that was one picture. That's actually the H2 right there where JDC did me dirty. Uh, we'll probably talk about that in another story, but yeah. So that bike, whenever I pull up to a gas station, it would just leave oil everywhere. It just kind of leave a little oil
There's the oil right there.
stain. That's probably it right there. Nah, it was be more fresh. Yeah, it would leave like a little spot on the ground, just because all like I guess like the airbox and the wheelie being so long, it just kind of throws that oil in the airbox and just leaks it out. But yeah, I think that's kind of what was the factor, because I even took it to 2 dealerships, and they both told me the same thing. Oh, that's how the bike is.
That's normal.
That's normal. So there's nothing they can do about it. I was like, well, this kind of sucks. You get a bike and you think you could do everything with it, but they're like, well, Ducati's out there trying to win championships, not trying to do wheelies. So, I can't blame him for that. But yeah, I kind of sucked that I couldn't do much with it. But I just remember, I mean, that bike was just a wheelie machine. It was just, I could do second gear all day long. I could go from power first to second to third to fourth, just chilling. And that was a fun bike. But yeah, it's kind of, the oil and everything else killed it. It just kind of, I can't, I don't know. You couldn't fix it, so it is what it is.
Well, they did fix it on the 1299.
Yeah.
So the
yeah,
1299 didn't do that.
Yeah, exactly. So they kind of learned. They saw me, over there struggling. So it's like, help
Okay,
future
so
generations.
you got the S1K, and when you had this S1K, about how much were you riding then?
The S1K, I want to say I still rode quite a bit. I think, I mean, I wasn't going. See, that's the thing. Whenever obviously, like you heard me right now. Whenever I started, every day.
Every day.
That was my thing. Like the
7
bikes,
days a week.
7 days a week.
Yeah.
Maybe even rain or shine sometimes. But I kind of started going away from it. Twice a week, 3 times a week. So started slowing down. And that's the thing. Like I still would go to PP1 and stuff
Sure.
like that. And back then, we would do routes. We do routes all night long and yada yada. But I guess I started getting older. I started kind of being just out there just for fun. At the time, I think I was just more interested of being, like kind of get that adrenaline going, boom, 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 going fast and yada yada. And that's cool and all. But nowadays, I feel like, I guess I paid, like you said, I paid my dues.
Right.
Learning on a 600. Kind of getting the right or at least good habits on a bike, knowing my limits, and I feel like that's a lot of times people don't do that nowadays.
Right.
I have a bike, I can go fast. It's not like that. You gotta kind of learn yourself what you can do, learn the bike what it can do.
You got to respect the bike.
Exactly. The moment you stop respecting that bike is a moment that you just it's something's bound to happen.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, we would come back from doing a route and stuff like that, and yeah, we'll see who's first, stuff like that. But at the same time, and I told that to people because they kind of focus on that.
Yeah.
I still go to PP1 at the time. I was still going to PP1, so it was still a fun thing. But they'll focus on more like, oh, like I almost had you. You lucky you got here. This car and yada yada. I was like, bro, a lot of times I have to stop and tell them, I've been doing this for a long time. And I never got, oh, here's $500 because you got here
won.
first. Here's your first place, trophy because you got here first. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like, I don't care. You could come in first today. You could come in first. I could come in fifth. I don't care. I could come in last. It is what it is. And like I said, like we're not, all we're trying to do is do this all over again. Come back and just do the same thing all over again, have fun and do the same thing. So I started
100%.
I started slowing down and every time I talk to people and stuff like that, I'm gonna try to be a very modest person because a lot of people, the word infamous, right? Infamous Alex. I didn't come up with it, but a lot of times people would say, oh man, you're that guy. I saw you last time, man. You were one wheel from exit to exit. You were from miles. Oh, a buck 20, one wheel up in the air.
Yeah.
Oh, the turn. Oh man, you over here dragging knee. Yada yada. So I kind of started getting known for infamous things. Infamous is things kind of bad things that you're known for, right?
Right.
So that's kind of where my name kind of came along, and it kind of made sense because that's kind of what I was out there doing. So I kind of try to be hush hush, I don't try to be, yo, man, I'm the fastest, because the moment that you say that, there's always someone could be faster than you.
Always.
A lot of people, they say, man, Alex is the fastest out there. I might be, I might not be, it's hard. This is the street is you really can't compare.
Right.
It's not a controlled environment like you said. So it's kind of like a hard kind of concept for people to kind of understand. You're not trying out here to win anything. You're just trying to be out there and have fun and do it all over again.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, I mean, I try to help people as much as I can, and throughout that time, whenever I was going back, I would see a change in people. More cameras would come around, more GoPros,
Yeah,
more of this, more of that, and it's cool. But at the same time, it brings more like I want to be on camera, and push people. Like people will get, I guess, will get that hyped up. Like let me be on camera, and not care about the fundamentals. And just care about like the how you say it, being on camera, getting all the clout, So someone came in.
Somebody came in.
I don't know.
You heard that too, right?
Yeah. Now we good? Oh.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah. Fucking fat boy broke the chair over here. God damn. Boy.
Yeah, Lee.
Yeah. Fucking set up.
Nah, that was my chair. I noticed it was broken. I gave it to you. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go for the S1K.
Yeah.
What happened to that bike?
I still got it.
Oh,
I still got it. Yeah.
okay.
I mean, honestly, it hasn't made an appearance on the channel, but I know JDZ and even Full Red's been
Same, bro.
been telling me like, bro, bring it out, and I think I should. It's been sitting for a while, so I just need to do a little maintenance on it. Probably like tire, chain, little, battery maybe or something like that. But just check it out, do it one over. But yeah, you guys should probably see it back on the channel.
It's a clean bike, bro.
It is.
Like
It's
the color
beautiful.
on the
Yeah.
sun.
Yeah.
Beautiful
The
bike.
wheels.
Yeah, the wheels. I mean, got carbon fiber wheels on it too, so we could do a swap. If you guys not liking the Salmon, we could do the full carbon, wheels on it. So it's a nicely set up bike. I kind of pretty much spared no expense. When you see the blue, everything that you see black is pretty much carbon. Ilmberger. So yeah, it has
Shout out to Ellenberger.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. So all of the S1Ks nowadays, Ilmberger and Full Six, whatever they have available. So yeah, it's gonna make a comeback. It'll be out.
That's good to hear. That's really good to hear. So what was next after that bike?
After that bike, that's kind of where me and you went back and forth. So we started kind of getting into the newer S1Ks. The Fireblade came into play. So
Don't forget the Speciale, dog.
Yeah, the Speciale, exactly. So I stayed with the duck theme, right? So that Speciale was probably something closest to this day to the 1199R. And you could tell me if I'm right or wrong. I don't know how you feel, but I think that Speciale, as far as wheeling and feeling the torquiness, that's probably the closest thing to the 1199R that you could feel. But just like the 1199R, it had its issue.
Yeah, it had little issues here and there, for sure.
But it was just the cleanest bike. I think Ducati from then on, they just been
got them
BST wheels. Yeah, so shout out to In and Out. Like that was In and Out. That was JM's the first kind of like little garage, shop setup. So he was the one that did that for me and put the wheels on. And you could see that he's barely starting with the stand, but yeah, put the BSTs on it, so full carbon wheels on that bike. And that's the thing. Now with the V4 top end was amazing. Like it was up there. So
beautiful.
Yeah, for sure.
This is around 2020, I'm assuming, because that's a 2020 bike.
Yeah, 2020 bike. Yeah. So this was probably 2 years after that. Yeah. So 2020, and I think the bike stuck around for a while, but then it had an issue and stuff like that. So went somewhere else with it after.
Yeah. So what happened? So how would you said it's pretty similar to the 1199. What were the biggest differences you saw between the two bikes?
I would say this was more. There's still torquiness, but this is more, I guess,
Not as raw, maybe.
Not as raw. That's the best way to put it. Not as raw to where it's still comfortable. For sure, I feel like top end wise, it had way more on the big end. You know, so but it's very. Other than that, very similar. I feel like it was very narrow bike because that's how 1199s are. If anybody sits on a duck, other than like a Superleggera or maybe like a V4R. Those are a little bit wider, but like a regular V4S, I feel like they're very small, kind of petite bikes.
Yes.
And yeah. So what was that? The Speciale.
That's a Speciale.
That's the S1K before the
transformation.
The transformation, and then the Aprilia, the RSV4 RF.
So let's talk about that for a second. What were your thoughts on that bike?
So the Aprilia was good. I feel like to me, if you're trying to be fast on the turns and the routes and the leaning and stuff like that, Aprilia, Yamaha are probably the best bikes that you could sit on them and be comfortable, be fast, not have to worry about.
What year was that Aprilia? What model?
2017 Aprilia, the RSV4 RF, not the RR. So put some
RF.
respect on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure, I think the Aprilia was nice too. Don't get me wrong. It's just, how can I say this? So at the time, I think I saw you on a Yamaha when I first met you.
Oh, I was on my R1M.
On a R1M. That was your daily.
I love that bike.
That was your baby.
Shout out to Yamaha.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong.
Let me interject there. 2015 was probably one of the best years of motorcycling with the Yamaha R1M being dropped and then the H2 being dropped.
Yep.
Those are probably two of my all-time favorite bikes.
Yep. So you can see, that was your R1M right there.
And that's Crab River.
The Crab River Road, yeah. So this is, that was my how you say, back to my roots type of thing, hitting those turns and stuff. But yeah, the 1299, the Rosario, and then the Aprilia. And don't get me wrong, the R1M and the Aprilia, they're very similar handling-wise just because the front end and the way that the bike is designed, it just feels so planted.
Yeah.
Right? But every time, and like I said, Full Reg could probably correct me if I'm wrong, everyone that's fast out here on routes and, doing all this 610 and stuff or whatever, they're on Yamahas. And they're Yamahas for a reason. Because you jump on a Yamaha, and that's why it was your baby, because you could jump on a Yamaha and be comfortable.
That's facts, bro.
You're sitting on the bike, you're sitting on the rear sets, you're coming out of the bike, and it feels so, the bike, you just got to do a little bit of something, and the bike does the rest. The throttle,
very
the torquiness.
Easy to ride.
Yeah, very
easy
comfortable to ride,
Yes.
So the throttle, the power band is where you want it. And the Aprilia felt the same way. The only difference is the Aprilia's power band is on the big end.
I agree.
So you're looking at 9 RPMs and above where the bike comes alive.
Now, don't get it twisted now. That Yamaha had a little bit of aggressiveness to it, too. Now.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. You still get the torquiness.
Bro.
Oh, yeah.
It torque. It's still a little bit of raw.
Yeah, exactly. Down low, and it has that mid-range.
Yeah, see, Aprilia didn't have that.
It didn't have that. It was dead. It was dead. I remember road racing the Aprilia and Texas 2K. I'm out there, 60-mile roll, and I'm over here just boom on the throttle, and I'm thinking, and I don't do this. There's a few guys, Flores, that I think he's done me dirty and told me do a second gear hit. If you guys watch the channel, every time I'm doing a little roll race or whatever, it's first gear all the way.
Gotta be.
Right?
Got to.
And it felt on the Aprilia, like, because I'm not used to second gear, so I think Clay Dog might be the other one, shout out to Clay Dog, that does me dirty, where they want me to do a second gear roll, right? I think even Brett's probably done me like that, and I'm not used to doing that. And I just remember the Aprilia felt like that, because at 60 on a second, you're not going to feel nothing. Like, it's going to, like, almost roll, the bike forward, and that's it, But as soon as you start getting, like, it'll pick it up a little bit. But the Aprilia, oh, no. You're at 6 RPM, and all of a sudden you hit it, you ain't going nowhere. So you're like, okay, let me go, boom, go all the way. And all of a sudden you're going 9, 10 RPM. You doing this?
Yeah, you're going up.
You're going up. You trying to short shift? Well, guess what? It's still up there because it's still on that power band.
Yeah.
And so it's a bike to where you got to get comfortable and know kind of what the bike's gonna do. But as soon as you start riding it, okay, I gotta be in a lower gear so I could be in a higher RPM through the turn, get on my power band, yada yada. So you'll get comfortable on it. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it handles amazing. Those are the Yamaha and the Aprilia.
Just like you touched on. If I find another 1199 or I'm gonna get it. And I feel the same way about the R1M.
Yeah.
As soon as the right deal comes up on that bike,
Oh, yeah.
I'm all in.
Oh,
man.
yeah, 100%. You know, and I know it because when
Yeah.
I met you, you were asking me about the mileage and stuff like that. I think you put some nasty miles on the R1M.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
we know Mona, and Mona is your baby right now. You know, 100%. You know, Mona is ride or die for you right now. So, but the R1 before that was the R1M. You know, 100%.
I think I put more miles on the R1M than I did Mona.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I think you had, but I think you had it. No, you probably had it for the same amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you.
Great bike, guys. If
Oh.
you're looking for a good all-around bike, dude, R1.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it's at.
And see, that's the thing. I mean, well, you could probably tell people right now. I mean, to me, I don't know if it's R1M is worth going to an R1M or is it just R1 in general?
I just like to be a little bit different.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean.
Okay, yeah.
That's really all it was for me.
Yeah.
I don't care about the lap timer. I don't care about the GPS. I don't care about
Yeah.
none of that shit. It's just about being, just a little bit different.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I do like the carbon fiber.
Yeah, yeah.
Fairings.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
have to change my regular R1M to carbon fiber.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was really the two biggest. Same motor.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's what I told a lot of people because a lot of people are like, we kind of talking to I guess more people that are looking for that top tier type of bike.
Right.
And to be honest, I've never said to where like, oh yeah, the R1M is worth it. And I hate to say, it's a great bike.
Sure.
If you got the money, yeah, I mean, go for it. If you're kind of looking for the lap time or you're looking for all that stuff, yeah, go for it. But at the same time, like you said, the motor's the same. I mean, a lot of times I tell people like Yamaha is probably your best bet. To where you're gonna be on the bike and you're gonna enjoy it. You don't have to do anything with the bike. It's gonna do a lot of things that you want it to do out of the box. And but at the same time, at the time, I felt like everybody and their mom had one. So that's kind of where you went
it's a
to
good
the
bike.
R1M. Yeah,
It's a good bike,
Yeah.
right? So let's you had touched on you did your first track day. Let's talk about your second track day. Where around what year was
that
this?
was around the time I had the S1K still. Obviously, I still have the S1K, but that's around that time I had the S1K, and I think I had painted it. Or no, I don't think I painted it yet. So before I doing the whole paint scheme and stuff like that, I went to I believe MSRH.
Oh, here in town.
Yeah, here in town. So
Okay.
I took a 1000 MSRH, and
Yeah, you smoking dick.
yeah, I didn't. Not my best judgment, but at the time, I think that was my first actual time on MSRH, if I'm not mistaken. And I didn't know I had
What year was this?
like 2018, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 2018, went to MSRH, and I pretty much it was okay, but it's a lot of power management that you got to do with a 1000 on MSRH. So it wasn't the best. I'm not saying you're fighting the bike, but you're not. You can't beat on it like a 600. You can't lean it like 600. It's MSRH is more a 600 style track. So shorter track. I think it's like what 2.5 miles, something like that. Coda looking at 3.5 miles. So you don't have
With
really
a couple long straights.
and barely any straights. The back straight is more like a curve-ish, straight. So
Yeah, like I said last time, by 140.
You're not clicking to 6,
No.
for sure. So
Definitely not on 1000.
yeah, exactly. So that's kind of where it was good. It was a good time, but at the same time, it's just kind of, I guess, how you say, polishing up the fundamentals is kind of what I was doing out there. But yeah, for sure, 600 would be the one to go to for MSRH.
Yeah. So let's talk about your third time at the track. What was the gap from MSRH to?
MSRH to Coda. Coda, I think it was like 2020 or 2021, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I was out there, and it was a very surreal type of
Coda's amazing.
feeling. And that's why I tell a lot of people, because a lot of times your first track day, you have so much you got to learn.
Yeah.
You're not just learning the track. I kind of touched a little bit on the gear and stuff like that in the suit. Not everybody here, I would say 1 out of 50 people at most wear a full suit that I could see
On the street?
on the street.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's a good assessment.
So it just goes to show you that not everybody's wearing a full suit all the time.
Right.
A full suit is a completely different feel.
Oh, it's a different animal.
Yeah,
man.
different animal
Yeah.
than just wearing a jacket and boots. or wearing a jacket and whatever. It's leather. You know, I still to this day I still don't own a leather jacket. I got 2 suits, but no leather jacket yet. So it's a you have a lot of feedback on the bike.
Yeah.
That you may or may not be aware. That you know what you're feeling, you know, when you're slowing down, when you're speeding up, when you're turning, when you're leaning, you know, stuff like that, you know, on your toes or your feet on your pegs, your legs on the tank, stuff like that. So being on a suit is a completely different feel to where if you're trying to go to Coda, if you're trying to, you know, do a track day, do it on MSRH, do it on a smart track to where you could just refine, get used to those kind of, how you say it, different feels, you know, and then get yourself some decent gear. You know, the boots was my biggest thing, because whenever I went my first time, it was hard feeling where I was on the peg. You know, a lot of people, they don't wear boots, they wear fucking shoes. You know, once you're in a boot, it's a whole different feel. Like
you can do how Full Res does, wear chanclas, bro.
Oh yeah.
Holding it down.
Yeah.
Shout out to chanclas.
Huaraches.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing. Like, you know, you're hopping on a bike. Now you don't have the feel of being, you know, what or how.
It's a foreign feeling.
It's a foreign feeling.
Yeah.
So, and then you're doing that. You're learning, you know, the body positioning. You're learning the turning. You're learning the braking points. You're learning the exits. You're learning, you know, everything else. Obviously, the track.
Yes.
So MSRH is, like I mentioned, it's a more technical track. So I luckily had gotten kind of those feelings, you know, kind of like the foundation of it already out of the way. To where I was used to a suit, I was used to gear, I was used to being on the bike.
2 track days
Two
behind
track
you.
days, you know. So when I went to,
let me ask you this: when you got to Coda, you said your first day you had bumped from level 1 to level 2. What level were you when you got to Coda? I'm assuming you were still with Ride Smart doing this, right?
So whenever I did that, how did I end up? I think whenever I did my S1K at MSRH, I think I did a few days. It wasn't my. I think it was my 3rd track day with MSRH, and I was at level 3.
Oh, they bumped you up to level 3.
Level 3, yeah. So
what's the biggest differences between level 2? Because to you guys who don't know, there's, you know, level 1 beginner, there's a level 2B, and then there's a level 2A, and then there's a level 3.
But now they changed it. I think now it's beginner, intermediate. Beginner, novice, intermediate, and advanced, or something like that.
Still 4.
Still 4, but yeah, they changed the names.
Okay.
But yeah, pretty much. You know, I went to level 3 at Coda, which I was glad to kind of not, how you say it, be my 2nd, 3rd track day. I think by the time that was probably my 4th track day, 5th track day.
Yeah,
I had done some. Yeah, I had done some at MSRH. So when I went level 3, I went on a Yamaha R6.
Okay, so hang on. Let's rewind a little bit. What are the differences between level 2 and level 3?
Oh, okay. So, like I mentioned, level 1, you know, it's a huge. It's already a difference to level 2, just because the riders and the bikes. And the same thing goes from level 2 to level 3. Like, these guys, and this is pretty much right before racing, right before, you know, your racing license, everything else.
So it's an open track.
It's an open track. This is dog eat dog. You know, this is fast riders. It's a very, it's hard to pass. It's hard to pass, and the thing is, you're not the caliber of bikes. You know, you're not racing a 600 out there, which that was my mistake. But you know, you're getting HP4 races, V4s, you know, Superlegeras, you know, S1Ks. You know, you just top dogs, top tier, and the racers there, you know, these are not like, oh, this is my 3rd track day. No, these are 5, 10 years. You know, these are
hundreds of
bad
20, 30, 40,
yeah.
50 track days.
Oh, yeah, 100%. You know, full on slicks and everything. I mean, fully set up. You know, you're not going to catch a 20, 11 little 636 out there, you know, trying to do something. So, yeah, it's a whole different caliber. And then you don't have, it's an open track to where you're just out there riding. I mean, there's no instructors, there's no nothing. You're just out there putting lap times, you know, and that's it. So it's a different caliber of racers, of riders, you know. I would almost consider them racers because they're bad men out there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So let's talk about your first lap at Coda. Level 3. you know, why don't you paint the picture for us? You're laughing, but you know, paint the picture and let us know what happened there.
Yeah, so yeah, JD's did me dirty. Let's just say that.
Bro.
So yeah, level 3 at Coda. That was my first time at Coda being level 3, and I made a mistake. You know, I was coming from MSRH, you know, being level 3 and stuff like that. And whenever I went to Coda, I did a misjudgment and I took Yamaha R6, you know, track Yamaha R6, and it was the only 600 on the whole, you know, out there in the session. Everything else was
in level 3.
In level 3, only 600. So them straights were very, very.
And that was your first time ever being in level 3. So
at
you
Coda.
didn't know what to expect.
I didn't know what to expect. Yeah, because I didn't know that style of racer was gonna be out there. You know, I didn't know there was gonna be killers out there. Yeah, there were. I literally had to get out the race lane on the straights because I'll be like, you know, topped out, you know, pinned out, and I'm over here getting just you know, just passed by everybody and their mama, you know, just out there. So I mean, obviously when the turns came up, we're all equally, you know, good. But them straights were just eating me, so I had to get out of the way. But yeah, my first how you say, my first little track or my first little lap, I kind of misjudged the track too and misjudged the tires. Let's just say that, you know, I wasn't running good PSI and I didn't give myself time to put them on tire warmers, so it wasn't the best lap for me.
What? Elaborate on that.
So pretty much, we got there, right? So JD actually accompanied me for my track day on that day, and we out there and pretty much didn't. I think we showed up late or something with what it was. I didn't put the bike on the tire warmers.
Right.
Didn't check no PSI. I thought it was running decent PSI, but it was still morning, so it was still due. So
it was still dark almost, if I remember correctly.
So the sun was barely coming out,
yeah.
you know. So it was still like 7 something or something.
It was the first session of the day.
First session of the day. You know, JDC called, you know, talks me into it. He's like, man, you here. Go out there. You know, level 3 is out there on the track.
They go out first.
Yeah, they go out first. So I went for the meeting, and they're like, okay, it's open track. You know, whenever y'all ready, go hit the track. You know, your session starting now. All right, cool. I go back. I didn't have time to put the tire warmers on, so I'm out there on cool tires, on slicks. And the hairpin turn, the first turn.
So for you guys, hang on, before you say what happens, if y'all haven't been to Coda, so the first turn at Coda has some elevation, right? So you basically go up a hill, and then you turn down a hill, right?
It's a first turn, so it's a first hairpin turn. So you're coming from the pits and you're going up, and then the elevation change. So a lot of
it's a big elevation change.
It's a big elevation change. You're literally going up a whole hill, and then you're coming back down. So a lot of times people don't understand when the turns are banked.
Oh, Google!
It's gonna show you guys the turn.
Oh yeah.
That Google.
Whenever you're going up, you know, whenever you're on the turn and the turn is banked, it'll make you hug that apex.
Yes.
You know, so it'll bring you in. But you can see the difference of elevation.
Look to the right. Look, that's the very first.
Yeah.
That's basically you're coming out of the pits, right?
Yeah,
that's your staging area right there.
Yeah. Yep.
And you're going up, man.
Yeah, you can see from
up.
where they're at the bottom and then where it's on top. So as soon as you go down, if you're on throttle, I mean, it's going to kick you out because you're not banked anymore. So
for sure.
So I tried, and I try to go easy on the bike, right? So I'm going up, and I'm over here, like, since I wasn't on tire warmers, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take my first 2 laps, let these tires heat up.
Yeah.
I'm going to take them easy.
Morning dew. But still dark.
But guess what? If I'm not mistaken, that turn, the way you were seeing it, that's where the sun comes up.
It is.
So I think it was still the sun was already up, but since it's a turn like this, the sun hadn't hit it yet because it's still over the hill. So it was still dark on that turn. Dew was still there.
Yeah.
So I low-sided that turn, and I came
very first
turn, and I'm over here just literally just barely turning because I know my tires are cold, and I know the track ain't hot.
Yeah.
And I know this is not hot, for sure not hot. So I try to make the turn as soft as I can, and even literally as slowly as I was going, the rear tire just gave out and it just slid, and I caught it. You know, I picked it back up, and nothing happened to the bike. It was going so slow, you know, because I knew the situation I was in, so I wasn't pushing it. But I got it back up, and I kind of took it back to the pits just to make sure I didn't, I wasn't, had anything broken,
Yeah,
rear
leaking
sent and
or-
leaking or anything like that, because
Right.
you got to go through, what's it called, tech and stuff like that. So,
Right.
yeah, no, I brought it back to the pits. The bike was good, and that's when I checked the PSI too. The PSI was super high, so I dropped the PSI, put in tire warmers, and still ran the rest of the day on the bike. So it was still doing pretty good,
How were you doing on the straights when you hit that wide open throttle on the straight?
Yeah, so I ran into a second issue on that bike. Pretty much diagnosing on the track. After the first, I guess that first session was kind of like a throwaway session for me. After coming back and getting back on the track, I was trying to open up the throttle and on the big end on the back straights and stuff like that. And every time I would do that, the bike would turn off. Like the bike would just shut. Like, like it would just turn off. Obviously the bike would still, like, the electronic or the dash would still be on, but the bike would turn off.
Almost like a fueling issue.
Like
type
a
deal?
fueling issue. So I'm over here trying to diagnose, and I'm like, man, what is this? Like, so it kind of sucked to where it, I had to like roll the throttle, even coming out of the for the back straights, out of the turn, and before like really stabbing it and getting into it.
Yeah.
And I'm over here, and it took me a few laps, a few sessions to really figure out why the bike would shut up, because I'm over here just trying to, and then just pin it. And it will do that. And so I started like, you know what, I can't do it. And I'll roll it. And I was like, okay, it likes it to be, when.
Yeah, you can't pin it.
You can't pin it. It could
Yeah.
roll on, but it can't pin it. So yeah, no, it was, I didn't know what was wrong with it at the time. But I had to finish the day like that. I think you wrote it.
So yeah, let me paint this picture here.
Yeah.
So Alex came back, after his first session, and he's like, "Bro, I fucking ate shit on the first turn." I was like, "No way." So it was hard to tell on that bike because the bike was all murdered out, basically track fairings. You couldn't really, see.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, man, it was so cool." I was like, "Okay." The next session, I was on a different bike. The next session. He like, man, I'm pinning it, dog, and it's just dying on me. I'm like, what you mean it's dying on you? It's like, bro, it's dying. He's like, man, you just gotta ride it. I was like, man, all right, cool. Bro, I went out there. I was in level 2. I was in level 3, so I was in level 2, and I'm out there, and I'm holding my own. I hit that back straight, and okay, here we go.
Yeah.
So you see that straight right there. That's a monster, dude.
Oh yeah, you topping out 6.
Yeah.
That's a long straight.
Yeah, that's a monster straight, bro.
Yeah.
The one before 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. After turn 12.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I come in, I'm hitting it, boom, I come up, the track is super hot, everything's good. We're on tire warmers. So I'm getting it from the beginning, boom, boom. I'm like, man, Alex is tripping, dude. Ain't nothing wrong with this fucking bike. Like, I got this, dude. Boom, I hit it. I hit that turn 12. I come into that back straight, and I pin it, dog.
Oh yeah.
The first thing that happens as soon as I pin that back, it fucking dies.
Yep.
Dead.
Yep.
I'm like, oh shit. And y'all have to understand, this is a track bike. There's no key.
Yeah.
So we're sitting here toggling a switch, turning the bike off, turning it back on, dude. And people are just passing me up like, fuck you. Like, get out of the way.
Yeah. Oh.
Like, dude, mad.
Oh, that's not nothing. That's not nothing. I forgot to mention that. Yeah. Level 3. Like,
I could only imagine.
These
bro.
guys,
I can only
like
imagine.
if you see my hands, they'll literally come around me and then just like just slide into me and then just even do like this, like get out the way. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Playboy. Like, I have technical issues right now. I'm out of the racing lane for you. I'm trying to do what I can. But yeah, no, they were mad. Like, so I know if they were mad with me, I could. Oh yeah. Same thing with you. I couldn't imagine.
So I get back, to the pits, and I take my helmet off, and I'm like, dude, fuck this bike. Like, for real. Like this bike sucks. So long story short, we get on my bike. I was, I think, on a Cowie.
Yeah.
We were riding the Cowie around. We finished the day out on the Cowie. We take the bike home. We tear it down. And some genius had left that 10 millimeter that we all lose that we can't find.
Oh, yeah.
It was in the throttle body.
Yeah.
So every time you wide open, it killed the bike.
Yeah. Because it was holding the thing open or something.
Now, luckily, that socket didn't get stuck in the throttle body.
Yeah.
Keep the throttle open while you're in a turn or something. And that's it.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yep. So yeah, I lucked out. JD's over here trying to make me a better kind of mechanic and stuff like that. Trying to figure out on on the fly. But no.
Just to recap that day, that was my first time at Coda as well, and that was a very fun day.
Oh yeah,
Learned a lot.
Exactly.
That day.
No, yeah, and every time you go out there,
we were competing. We were putting lap timers on, bro. I did sub 2 minutes. I did 155. I did. It was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. No, and I think like that's the thing. Like a lot of people ask me, "Are you going back to the track? Are you going back to the track?" It's always. I feel like it's always a good time, and I feel nowadays I'd rather go down to a lower level. Just because I would rather all of us kind of like, you told me, I told you, like, just kind of follow each other. And now with the cameras, I think that helps out a lot. I think when we first started riding, and I tell that to people, I'll follow you, bro. Like give me your camera, or I'll give you the footage, and that's the thing. You don't know how you look in a bike until you see yourself, or until someone kind of shows you or tells you, hey, do this, hey, do that. I had a recent experience with Reckless S1K, Dylan, that I helped him. I think it was like a month ago or 3 weeks ago. Same thing, he thought he was doing it right, and I'm getting out the seat and I'm doing this, but his upper body wasn't
moving.
It wasn't down. Because how would I say this? I would say, hey, get off the seat, like lift your butt off the seat, right? But the problem is if his upper body is still kind of more upright,
right?
He's almost here like standing off the seat. But if you're more inclined or more on the bike, you're more lifting off the seat.
Yes.
So you could do that easier. So that's why he didn't. He was like, man, I'm getting off the seat, but him getting off the seat is like him doing this, not him doing this.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I helped him realize that. I was like, bro, get dug down, get your head more down on the bike, so that way your ass hand could kind of come up and do that, So little stuff like that. And I told him, like stuff like that, I can only tell you so much. I got to see how.
I got to see what you're doing.
Yeah.
I was always told you got to try to kiss your mirror.
Yeah.
Where your mirror's at, try to kiss it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And that's all it is, because if you could bring, and a lot of times I tell people that. But a lot of people don't ride mirrors anymore for whatever reason.
But where your mirrors are supposed to be.
Yeah, where it's supposed to be. Right. It's your elbow. A lot of times, because if you're doing this with your elbow, well, guess what? Like, your elbow can only go lower as, as much as your head can go lower.
Right.
So if you bring your elbow down, your head's going to go down with it. So that's kind of where I say, bring your elbow down, and then your upper body will follow, obviously, But, yeah, little stuff like that is just, I find it more fun with other guys, with friends and stuff like that.
Oh, of course.
Because a lot of people ask me, why don't you race professionally? Why don't you be out there and win try to actually get your racing license and be doing races.
CMR license.
Exactly. And my answer is, how can I put this?
Not yet.
No. This is a good hobby. This is not work.
Yeah.
If I'm out there doing races, it's gonna turn into work, and it's gonna kill the hobby. It's gonna kill the passion for me, because I'm the type of person, if I'm gonna be out there and I'm gonna be racing, I want to win. I'm not out there to get fifth. I'm not out there to get a fourth. If I'm
you
doing,
gotta dedicate everything.
Yeah.
To it.
If I'm out there, I'm out there practicing. I'm out there to win.
Yeah.
And if I'm just out there kind of just BSing or whatever, then what am I doing this for? Because racing is not easy. It's money and it's time. Mm-hmm. Your bike got to be set up. Everything got to be set up. Oh, this Sunday is this Saturday is this. You're going to this track. You're traveling. You're going back and forth. And during race,
it's not cheap, bro.
It's not cheap.
Anybody who hasn't been to a track day,
yeah,
it's not cheap, brother.
So,
this is not a cheap hobby.
Exactly. So, and it's just that, man, I got to do this. Man, I got to, get the bike. Man, I got to go get tires. I got to get a different set. Yeah. I got to get my trailer. I got to get this. I got to get my, my fans. I got to get, the core. It's just so much that goes into a track day. And there's little key points I tell people. Fans, electrical cores, chairs, stuff like that. Food is stuff that you need to take with you, at a track day. It's a whole event. It's not like, oh, I'm just going to track day. I'm gonna ride the bike there and that's it. No, it's a whole event that you got to do. So imagine that as a racer. You got to do that every time, every weekend. So that's why I tell people it's a fun hobby for me. I have passion for it. But if I turn it into a job, I'm just probably I'm gonna hate it. Yeah. I'm gonna hate it. If I'm winning, great. That'd be great. But this sport is very, very competitive.
Yeah.
And if you don't start since you're like 10 years old, 8 years old, 12 years old, you're out already.
Oh, yeah.
If you're starting this
You're
in your
already behind.
20s, 30s, you're out already.
Yeah.
You know, don't get me wrong. You could probably still do it. You're probably a bad man, but you know, you're competing against 20-year-olds. 18-year-olds, whatever, you know, and those guys are just gonna.
Oh yeah, you're already starting with a handicap
Yeah,
already.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I never looked into it, because I'm the type of person, if I look into it, I might talk myself into it, you know. And I just enjoy it, you know. I just enjoy, like, hey man, like, JDs, you want to go out riding? Full res, you want to go ride? You know, you want to do some wheelies? You want to do something? Like, you know, let's do
Shit,
this.
like today.
yeah, exactly. So little stuff like that, you know, it's the love of the sport, you know, is passion for it. Yeah, you do that. I mean, and shout out to everybody that does it, you know.
Oh,
I mean,
facts, bro.
you got people out there dedicated, and good luck to them, and, you know, have fun and stuff like that. But it's not for me. You know, I might have a little bit of talent, but everybody's, you know, a little practice, anybody can get it, you know.
So this is around 2021. This was your third. This is like your fifth track day, something like that.
Yep.
What? And you were on your S1K.
Yep.
So what comes after the S1K?
After the S1K, what was it? The Fireblade? What was after? Oh, the
2021. Yeah, it was.
the Fireblade.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so the Triple R.
So let's talk about that for a little bit.
So the Triple R is a bad bike. You know, it's JD's, he might not like it, but I like it.
No.
He say he don't mess with the Hondas. He said.
Shout out to Honda. I fucks with you. So I will say this: I've owned a few bikes. I've ridden a few bikes.
Oh yeah.
And to me, that Blade is the second best turning bike, planted bike I've ever ridden behind the Leggera.
Oh, the Leggera.
And if you look at the price difference, you're going from about a $110,000 bike to a $30,000 bike.
Yep.
I would put that RRR on that. It's competing on the turns.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know,
100%. A Honda,
and that's saying a lot.
No, 100%. I mean, don't get me wrong. BMW, from
all around
great bike, right? So 2010, 11, they came out, killed it. For years, you know, even 19 to 20, they came back out, set another bar, the new gen. So BMW bar, you know, set the bar. 2020 set the bar again. You know, obviously, like you mentioned the Leggera, but the Leggera 100 bands. You know,
it's not a practical bike.
Exactly.
It's not a bike where you're gonna, you know, show up to what we say PP1 and somebody's gonna be on it, or you can't really. It's a elite of the elite. It's kind of like you're talking about a Bugatti.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
It's that holy grail of motorcycles.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So, you know, we both rode the Leggera. Honestly, I miss the Leggera. Like that's that to me. But like you're saying, you gotta know you're running on 100 bands, you know, on you. So it's not a
tires cost $2,500. For a set of tires.
Facts. Yeah. No, for sure. So it's not you know, it's like you said, the elite of the elite. And to be honest, I think that, like you said, that's the bike that's a comparison, which is crazy, because when BMW, and the only reason I mentioned is because BMW was top dog to me, at least, you know, for a long time. Yeah. Honda was nowhere around that bar. You know, you might have a Cowie power up there, like Cowie and BMW power up there, but never Honda. Handling, I mean, it's decent, but, you know, you have Yamaha.
Of course.
You know, so it was never like a top competitor, like top dog in any type of style, right? And that Triple R, it came out swinging. You know, Honda.
I believe you had the first one in Houston.
Oh yeah. So I think that was what 2020,
2021, I believe.
Yeah, 2021. So yeah, the first Triple R. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I think it was at the time it was a bike that no one was really messing with. And you know, I feel like, you know, because it was like just a Honda.
It gained a lot of steam.
But at the same time, it's because the price tag.
I mean, 30 bands for a bike, you know, relatively speaking, is
for a Honda.
Yeah, for a Honda bike.
So I think that's kind of what deterred people from kind of getting that bike. So
but it's worth it.
It's worth it. But at the time, people will drop $30,000 on the Ducati. They know Ducati prices. right?
It's a different customer.
Exactly. So I think that's where Honda didn't realize, because I don't think they were flying off the shelf, essentially.
Right.
And it wasn't until after, probably even watching our Triple R, the Blade being out there, being fast, yada yada, seeing that it could do 200 mile per hour on stock gearing.
Yeah.
From here to Florida.
But it takes about 3 days, but it'll get there, guys. I'm telling you, just trust it, bro. Just keep it pinned.
Yeah,
you'll get there.
So it's top level, right? But you need a flash. That bike.
Shout out to Bren. He personally tuned Infamous Alex's bike.
Yeah,
it's running good.
Oh,
guys.
100%. So when you first get it, I mean, it's very yeah. There you go. Triple R and the M1K.
Yeah.
So I mean, those bikes are just
Yeah.
They're
Slice of
amazing
heaven.
bikes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Too bad right there. So that bike, if you get it before, like if you don't flash it, it is like it's
dead.
very restricted.
Yeah.
Very, very restricted. Honda said, "Hey, we gotta pass these tests and emissions and stuff like that." But y'all unlock me. Yeah, we got you. We got you. And yeah, they Brent figured it out, and yeah, we took it over there and put it on his dyno, and I mean, it's just it eats. It's a fast bike. I mean, and that's when people don't believe me. That bike at the time, even now, I don't know why they don't have any support. Like you go to anybody for the BMW, you get winglets, you get the little intake inserts, carbon inserts, carbon belly pad.
Oh yeah.
Carbon subframe,
as far
carbon
as parts,
tank,
aftermarket parts.
aftermarket parts. Yeah. BMW. Oh, they got you all day long.
Oh yeah.
Honda. Good luck finding parts for that.
Hondas were never fast.
Oh yeah, no. But now they got to put some respect on that name, because that bike. I mean, you see those. If you guys haven't seen it, go check out our YouTube channel. On the video we did where we paired those two up initially, like when I think it was like what, last year or something like that, or
It was
this
like
year.
the second video I think we ever did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that was there you go. That one. I scroll down.
No, it's all the way down there.
Yeah.
Right there. Third video.
Yeah, that one. Go check it out. I mean, the Blade came out swinging.
Oh yeah,
swinging, and it was it's just crazy, because to me, BMW is top dog. On the big end. And whenever I didn't see that
not on that end, Playboy.
Well, I mean, BMW had to do something.
It's track gear.
So BMW had to do something.
Gear.
So yeah, for sure. I mean, but that's the thing. We're talking about Honda right now. Yeah. We're talking about we went from reliability.
Facts, yeah.
Oh, you beat on it. Oh yeah, it'll last you to
take it.
Oh, this is a fast bike.
Yep.
This is a top end type bike. This bike beats 10s. These bike, that's a Leggera.
There's a Super Leggera.
Oh yeah, that's
I actually remember that day.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah. Fun.
Oh yeah, no. And see, that's a
fun bike.
That's crazy. That bike. I mean, it was just the weight that you shed off of it. Everything on that bike is carbon.
I mean, it's basically a race bike, right?
Oh,
you got a built motor.
Yep.
Everything's fully carbon.
Yep.
It's a blast to ride.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
But it's also a lot of responsibility.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
You're almost battling yourself. Just you always have that in the back of your mind.
Exactly.
Where,
Exactly. And to be honest, I mean, that's the thing. Like, you don't want to be
we ride bikes to have fun.
Exactly.
And when you can't have fun, you're always second guessing yourself. It's hard.
And a lot of so we touched on the Blade. We kind of touched on the BMW, right? You mentioned the newer BMWs, yada yada. Like, I mean, they're straight awesome bikes.
Yeah,
awesome bikes.
All around street riding, they're awesome, man.
And also, if you follow the channel, you follow me and stuff like that, you see me pretty much on all the BMWs. See me on Triple R. And the question I always get asked is, which one do you like? Which one do you prefer? Which one's your favorite? Right?
It's like choosing between your kids, bro.
and honestly, that's a perfect way to say it, because I just can't give a straight, this bike or that bike, because it's just
they all shine in different ways.
Exactly. So for the people watching this, stuff like that, I mean, I get that question asked a lot, and it's hard to say. I actually ask them a question. What do you do? How do you like to ride? You like to do wheelie? Mm-hmm. You like to do turns? You go fast? You do roll racing? What do you do? And kind of go from there, because, I mean, if you're doing routes, if you're doing turns, stuff like that, Blade, 100%.
It's great,
100%.
great planted bike.
Exactly.
Needs,
Like that.
it takes it. It wants more.
It,
It always wants more.
Exactly. That bike, it feels like the duck as far as it noses in, but the difference is when it's on a turn and you're on that apex and you're about to come out of it and you're about to get it back on the straight and come out of the turn, you could just hammer the throttle and that thing just
Still wants
squats.
Still
it
wants
squats and doesn't wait. It doesn't do anything and it just goes. So it just eats it. You know, it's a badass bike on the turns. Wheelies and stuff like that. Obviously, the road racing has a good top end. It has good mid range. It's a little harder. If you see me, it's more like a duck. It's very torquey bike.
Yes.
So you'll see me like if you see the BMWs, I think me and JDZ for the most part we're not moving. We're not doing this. We're not like going back and forth. We're pretty much like there and we stay there. You know, it looks smooth. The blade, any single little touch, you're doing little like kind of like
It's very twitchy.
little
the
twitchy.
throttle.
So that's the difference. You know, maybe you fix it with gear and stuff like that, but at the same time, you know, you're. I just tell that people, I tell that to people so they can kind of get an idea.
Yeah.
You know, of what kind of bike. And then honestly, the way you sit, a lot of people I tell them if you're a little taller, like me, like 6'0" and above, don't get the blade. Because the blade is just you're
High
gonna
knees, dog,
high
all
knees.
day.
Your knees are gonna
All
be on
day.
your
Mountain
elbows.
climbers all
Oh
day.
yeah. I mean, you go for sure want rear sets just to be comfortable on the bike. You know, the M and the BMWs, they're more for tall people. You know, they're very high. Like you sit high on the bike, and a lot of times I tell people when to sit on the blade, because I tell them like, how does it feel? Like, I was like, sit on it, and I tell them put gas, pretend you're putting gas on the tank.
Yeah.
Because that gas tank is so low. You're used to being up here, you know, on a BMW or whatever, and it's so low. So it kind of gets you that different, even riding, seating positioning, you know. So it's two different worlds, two different bikes, you know.
So I mean, there's so many stories, guys. There's so many things that we haven't touched on, and we don't have time to touch on. But a couple more things I want to touch on before we wrap it up here. Let me ask you this: so you've had the cream of the crop. You've rode the best bikes money has to offer.
Mm-hmm.
So what's next, man?
What's next? So I mean,
Trying to get this
honestly,
again or what?
yeah. One day. You
Hey,
know.
that's a bad man right there, bro.
Yeah,
Somebody who can wheelie $100,000 bike.
That's
and-
Jay DC
and-
right there, bro. That's a boy on $100,000 bike, one wheel in the air.
That's what
Just
he meant
chilling.
by we ride the bikes.
Yeah.
Well,
100%.
definitely one thing about me and Infamous over here is the bikes we own, we ride them.
Oh,
we
100%.
got no garage queens. We got none of that.
Yeah.
We don't buy bikes and just show them off. Nah, bro. If we buy a bike, we're gonna ride it.
Yeah, exactly. And so what's next? I feel like that might be a good introduction to the bike kind of sitting behind us. You know, it's gonna be our new addition to the channel, which we're kind of deciding on what we want to do with it. Obviously, you can see it's a green bike. We're hopefully going to do like a little kind of reveal video, you know, maybe after this.
Obviously, between Full Rez's legs, you can see Kawasaki.
Yeah, I told you cross your legs, bro. I told you cross your legs. So yeah, that's the new addition to the bike. I mean, it's obviously a green Kawasaki.
To the channel.
To the channel.
Yes.
Sorry, to the channel. Yes. So it's obviously a Kawasaki. It's obviously green. So yeah, I think we're gonna do like a little introduction to it.
Yeah, definitely stay tuned.
Stay
Tune into the
tuned for that,
channel.
yeah.
A lot of big cool things coming up. You know, it's going to be a very interesting time of year. So I wanted to touch something that we didn't really get to talk about this much. I know we're running long on time. Is how do you feel about? Well, let me ask you this: do you watch MotoGP?
Not religiously.
Okay,
Not religiously.
but you do keep up with stuff.
I try to.
How do you feel about Marquez going to Ducati?
Oh yeah, no. You
heard about that,
Oh
right?
yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. That's my boy. He actually called me earlier today.
He asked your permission before he switched
He's like,
teams.
man, I know you Honda gang,
Yeah.
but can I do a little something?
Ducati gang?
And I was like, man, I really want you there, but I guess I see what you're saying. So what I got from him was, I think he touched something on like he wants to kind of feel that passion again, And I feel like he was on the Honda. He's been on the Honda for a long, long time.
Long time.
And he's been killing it. You know,
came up on a Honda.
Yeah, he's been killing it. And I feel like he's just kind of to that day-to-day, you know, just same thing over and over.
Yeah.
And he knows that bike inside out. And I feel like he could do so much. Like his riding level is up there.
Oh, he's one of the greatest, bro. If not the greatest.
Oh yeah, exactly. And to where he's still young, and the Ducati, man, Ducati's out there killing it. Like that bike is just a beast. So if you put him on that bike, I mean, oh yeah, it's good. It's good. Good things are gonna come. Yeah, for sure. I'm excited. I want I want to see what he can do in the Ducati.
You gonna be tuning in?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. For y'all that don't know, I love MotoGP. I keep up with it. You know, I was super stoked to see Marquez, join his brother.
Oh yeah.
And,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And go to Ducati, and it's going to be a very interesting, And one thing I've said before, I'll say it again. I'm not a brand guy. I love all bikes. You know, I love Honda. I love Suzuki. I love Yamaha. I love Kawasaki.
Especially Suzuki.
Shout out to Suzuki. Let's come out with a new bike, guys. Come on. You know, that Gen 2.5 booster y'all put out a couple years ago, bro. When you gonna make that damn, turbocharged booster, man?
Yeah, 100%.
We've been
100%.
hearing about for the last 10 years.
Yeah. Yep.
Please.
Yep.
Another thing I've been hearing, which kind of got me excited, and it could be bullshit, is the Honda switching over to a V4 engine next year.
Oh yeah.
I did hear that. Did you hear that?
Oh yeah. So I feel like if the bike is where it is now on the inline 4,
bro,
then look at the V4s.
Game changer.
Look at the RS V4s too.
Game changer.
The Aprilias.
Yeah.
The
Game
Ducatis. Yeah, it's gonna be up there. It's gonna be up there. So yeah, if Honda comes out with that, BMW better do something. BMW better do something. So I think it's just they're just gonna raise the level. But I don't know. I mean, maybe they do. Maybe it'll be next year. So
yeah,
we got to see. Cowie got to step up too. The H2.
Well, I mean, my thoughts on that is they dropped in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
2025, I think is going to be the 10-year. Something's going to happen.
Something, yeah.
On the 10
you might
year,
be right.
Kind of like what BMW did.
Yeah. Okay, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So 2009 is when it was first introduced, and then 2019 is when the new gen came out.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking something like that will happen.
Nah, I think you're right.
Yeah, it's a very, very exciting time to be, a motorcycle enthusiast with all the stuff going on. I mean, bikes are more powerful than ever.
Oh, 100%. Like, I feel like this is a time to be, into the whole motorcycle thing. Because back in the day, you didn't have none of this electronics.
No.
And I tell that to a lot of people, oh, should I jump on a 1000? Should I do this? I'm like, yeah. Get a newer 1000. I mean, obviously, get a 600. But if they're trying to jump from a 600 to a 1000, yeah, get it. I think you guys touched base a little bit on last time.
Yeah.
You could down power these bikes
yeah.
to where you could still be comfortable on them. So just the technology, the power of these engines, it's just skyrocketed, over the last probably 5-6 years, for sure. I think since 2014 and 15 is when it's still the quick shifter.
Auto blip,
all that stuff came out probably, a good 8-9 years ago, and it's just kind of going from there.
Slide control. There are so many.
Exactly.
settings.
So no, it's a good time. I feel like I'm excited. I feel like we always kind of get excited. I'm excited about the bike that's behind us because has a lot of technology.
Yes.
And it's probably the cleanest looking bike for that style right now. So I'm really excited about that one. It's something that I haven't been in a long time.
Definitely, guys. If y'all haven't tuned in to watch our other videos, definitely check them out. A lot of cool, interesting stuff coming up. Rez, you got anything before we wrap this thing up?
I'm starving, bro.
No, that boy stays eating, bro. Stays eating.
Yeah. So yeah, guys. Infamouz, you want to touch on anything before we wrap this show up?
I guess appreciate kind of being here. I know my voice not the best, kind of been under the weather a little bit, but kind of want to be out here and kind of give you a little slice of what I went through. Just kind of get where I'm at, and if you guys kind of enjoy this, I think we're gonna be doing this for quite a bit.
There's so many stories, guys, we didn't get to.
Yeah.
We would be here for 7-8 hours just talking about all the experiences us three have had, me and Alex have had.
Yep.
Definitely stay tuned for all that stuff. you know, and a lot of cool stuff coming up, man. I'm really, really like you said, man. I'm
Yeah.
really, really excited about that
100%.
stuff, you know.
Yep.
So yeah, guys, you know, appreciate tuning in. Episode 2, you know, definitely check out episode 3. We'll be dropping that next week, and you know, comment if you want to see anything we didn't touch on, you want us to touch on. Yeah, that's it, guys. Thank y'all again.
Yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in.
Now you get to go eat, fatty.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good shit, guys.